Advertisement. Advertisement. Long Fei used his points to exchange for a few pills that could quickly recover Holy Source. 100 million points. Now, he only had a few million left. It was completely not enough. Originally, Long Fei wanted to fill up the main gun again, but now he had to think of a way to get a secondary violent ghost and drop something to exchange for points. The consumption rate of the Holy Source was too fast. Long Fei's current level was too low, and his Holy Source simply could not sustain the frequency of the Golden Cudgel's use. He could only rely on pills to recover the Holy Source. Mountain, look around. I'm going to recover my Holy Source. Long Fei reminded as he closed his eyes. His Holy Source value was slowly recovering. 5 minutes later, Niu Dashan stumbled back as if he had seen a ghost, and said, "Boss." "In front, look ahead." At this time, Long Fei had pretty much recovered most of his Holy Source. Looking at Niu Dashan's flustered expression, he asked, "What's up ahead?" Niu Dashan said, "There's someone hanging in the air in front of us." "Are you sure it's a human?" "Not a zombie." Long Fei walked up. This valley had been deserted for God knows how many years, and let alone a human, even demon beast did not dare to enter this mountain cave. Niu Dashan said, "It's really a human. He even spoke to me just now." Long Fei asked, "What did I tell you?" Niu Dashan said, "He asked me to go over, and kept calling me over, saying that he wanted to tell me a heaven-shocking secret." Long Fei was shocked. "Soul search." Long Fei asked again, "Then how did you reply?" Niu Dashan replied, "I only replied with one sentence, 'What if * king kick you?'" Long Fei. It was also at this time that Niu Dashan became even more agitated and said, "Then that person actually smiled at me. His smile is too terrifying." "Boss, this cave is too strange. I shudder at the thought of his smile." Niu Dashan's back was still drenched in cold sweat, his face full of fear. Long Fei's heart was moved. It should be the boss. And then Long Fei reminded Niu Dashan, "Protect your heart. No matter what he says, don't bother with him." Finished. Long Fei also protected his heart and quickly rushed forward. Ahead was darkness. In the darkness, there was a white silhouette. The wind was blowing, and his body was floating in the air, looking down with a pair of gloomy eyes. Niu Dashan immediately said, "Boss, it's that person." Long Fei became excited. "It's really a boss." "Since it's a boss, then Lousy can't tolerate it. Kill him." At this moment, ha ha ha, a sinister laugh seemed to float out from hell. His voice carried a strong power that could absorb souls, causing Long Fei's sea of consciousness to instantly churn. His mind was in turmoil, and he was in extreme discomfort. Niu Dashan also revealed a pained expression and said, "Boss, this guy is too fierce. Protect your mind, and don't relax." "Fierce? I want to see how fierce he is." Long Fei took a step forward. At this moment, Niu Dashan was shocked. He immediately followed and pulled Long Fei. Boom! Long Fei's body suddenly lost gravity, and his entire body fell. Fortunately, Niu Dashan's reaction was quick. He grabbed onto Long Fei and said, "Boss, I forgot to tell you, this is a black hole abyss." "That's not right." Long Fei shook his head lightly. He lit it with the torch in his hand, and his eyes filled with shock. It was exactly as Niu Dashan said, a huge abyss. Coffins lined the sides of the chasm. The abyss was filled with chains. The incomparably thick chains, as for the person who was floating in the air, were not floating, but instead chained up in the air. It was because Chain City was so black that it was hard to see them clearly. Thus it was believed to be floating in the air. Why are these chains locking a person? The living are forbidden. Death Valley? What are the coffins on both sides of the abyss? Who cares what it is? If we encounter a boss, we'll just kill it. Long Fei moved the shield luo machete in his right hand and said, "Big Mountain, let go of me." Faster. Niu Dashin did not dare disobey, and his hands loosened. Long Fei landed on a huge chain and said, "Fuck, you like Soul Search, right? Come on." He quickly charged forward. The man under the white shadow curled his lips and smiled sinisterly. "Just you." Whoosh, whoosh. The chains moved and shot towards Xiang Longfei like arrows. Longfei held onto the mountain, splitting Neef tightly. Upanishads pierced through the armor. "Break for me." Boom. When the blade slashed down, flames scattered in all directions. The metal chain only drew a shallow line and did not break at all, and smashed into Long Fei's chest. Boom. Long Fei was firmly nailed to the wall. Uffed. A mouthful of blood sprayed out. The other chain instantly attacked as well. Shwalala. Niu Dashin roared. He fell down hard, and with a jerk of his head, the power of the king bull's blood erupted. Buzz. A loud sound was heard as Long Fei blocked the incoming attack. Long Fei was able to catch his breath, and as he retreated, shwa. Long Fei rushed out once again. "This old man doesn't believe it." Whoosh. After shattering and flying up, Long Fei leaped up. His body was as light as a monkey's, shuttling quickly between the chains, the mountain-splitting Neef in his hands tightly gripped. He was getting closer and closer to the silver in the air. The chains around them became denser as they crazily rushed towards Xiang Longfei. Die! The mountain-splitting Neef slashed down heavily, directly hitting the white shadow's neck. Long Fei wanted to cut off his head. But buzz, clang, bang, with a loud noise. The flames flew in all directions, and the Xiu Luo machete in Long Fei's hand was directly knocked off and flew out. The palm of his hand, as well as his entire arm, were completely numb from the impact. The move just now had been like a hack on a chain. The white shadow man gently lifted his head and laughed sinisterly. "Brat, you think you can kill me?" Disdainful. His two eyes were even more powerful than before. Wahaha! Laughter came out again as the chain moved and locked onto Long Fei's throat, quickly shrinking. "Boss!" Niu Dashin shouted loudly. The white shadow said with a sinister voice, "Living people are forbidden. Death Valley, once you come in, don't even think about leaving alive." Waha! As the iron chains contracted, Long Fei's life was hanging by a thread. At this moment, Long Fei's mouth hooked up and sinisterly laughed. "Really? Devouring vein. Suck star over China. This old man will see how I get out." With a move of his left hand, he placed his palm on the white shadow's chest. The power of a level 20 devouring vein burst out, and the powerful divine power of the suck star over China frantically absorbed the white shadow man's energy. The mountain-splitting Neef's heavy strike was only a feint. The suck star over China was Long Fei's true goal. The powerful force was frantically being absorbed by Long Fei, causing the amount of blood on the head of the white shadow to decrease. No matter how *King arrogant he is, your father will suck you to death. Long Fei looked at the last bit of HP on the white shadow man's head and said excitedly, "Explode for me." His body suddenly dropped down, landing on a retracted chain. Then he jumped down again and again towards the depths of the dark abyss. A few sounds of iron chains rippling came from the darkness. Long Fei's figure was also engulfed by the darkness. "Boss!" Nyo Dashin, who was standing at the edge of the darkness, shouted into the abyss, but there was no response. Long Fei seemed to have disappeared. Boom! The speed of the iron chains shrinking was too fast, and before Long Fei could completely land on the ground, there was no place to land in mid-air. Long Fei fell into the dark abyss. After an unknown period of time, Long Fei's eyes suddenly opened. His entire body was drenched in sweat. He was completely drenched. He fell onto a rock. His surroundings was full of flowing lava. It was like a sea of magma. Long Fei looked up. There was an endless darkness up above, and he couldn't see the top at all. This is the abyss. Why do I feel something in the depths of the earth? Long Fei looked at the boiling lava around him and couldn't even see the end of it. What the F***CK are we playing now? The rock that was closest to Long Fei was over 100 meters away, and it was impossible for him to jump over it at this distance. In that instant, just as Long Fei was thinking about how to leave this place, lava suddenly sprayed out. Walala! In front of him, a flower had bloomed, and in the instant the lava erupted, a fiery red scale covered its entire body, and two large eyes stared fiercely at it. This demon beast. F***CK. Fire unicorn. Long Fei's eyes flashed, and he became cautious. This bastard was a divine beast. Abnormal chest tightness. Moreover, he came and went freely in the magma. He was not restricted in any way. He could fly as he wished, and he could drill into the magma as he wished. A few fiery clouds beneath his feet floated in the air, staring at Long Fei with doubtful eyes. For him, this was his first time seeing a human. To be exact, it was seeing something alive. The fire unicorn suddenly asked, "Are you tasty?" "This. I'm having a bad time," Long Fei said, "but I can cook good food." The fire unicorn's eyes lit up and said anxiously, "Then why don't you cook something delicious for me? Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up." Long Fei said, "Here." The fire unicorn nodded. "Yes, here." Long Fei said, "There's nothing here. How can I make it for you to eat?" The fire unicorn said, "Make yourself for me to eat." Long Fei said, "Are you kidding me?" The fire unicorn said, "No, you said you know how to cook. Then if you cook yourself now, I will eat you later so that you won't feel bad." Long Fei was a little unforgiving. "What are you thinking?" The fire unicorn stared at him. "Hurry, I'm hungry. I want to eat. I want to eat." While they were talking, Fire Unicorn's mouth was dripping with saliva, which was burning hot lava as it dripped down drop by drop, extremely terrifying. Long Fei said, "Come closer. I'll make it for you right now." "All right." The fire unicorn practically didn't have any consideration as it directly leaned over. It landed in Long Fei's attack range. In a split second, Long Fei moved his right hand, and the golden cudgel in his hand suddenly smashed down, fiercely smashing the fire unicorn's head. Bam! With a swing of the staff, the fire unicorn's head was blown out of the ground, and its body sank into the magma. Awoo! The lava let out a painful cry. "Eat me? So what if you're a fire unicorn? If I, the Dragon King, have mistreated you, why would I be afraid of you, fire unicorn? Come on, eat me again." Long Fei kept his eyes on the lava around him. In an instant, the fire unicorn's body immediately grew bigger, shooting up into the sky, pouncing towards Xiang Long Fei. Long Fei moved and bellowed, "Monkey, smash him flat." Bam! Not waiting for the fire unicorn to fall, he smashed down with his staff again. Awoo! The fire unicorn was once again smashed into the lava and released waves of painful howls. He didn't know why. The golden cudgel had dealt a fatal blow to him and completely crushed the fire unicorn's aura and strength. Why was this so? Is there a sign that the second layer of strength is about to awaken? Boom! He pounced forward again, but was once again struck down by Long Fei's staff. Are you convinced? Still not convinced? Boom! I'll beat you until you submit. However, the fire unicorn in front of him obviously did not have enough IQ. It was not difficult to tell from his words and demeanor that he was a young beast whose intelligence has not kept up. Long Fei said, "Am I an ordinary person?" The old man in white on the first floor also told me that he didn't want anyone to leave this place alive. He told me to come down. Don't you want to leave? The outside world is wonderful. Roasted pig's feet, fried lobster, steamed sea bass, roast lamb. Long Fei said a series of delicious things, causing him to cry out loud alone. That fire unicorn was even drooling. However, it didn't move him, because he simply did not know what Long Fei was talking about and could only rely on imagination. In the world of fire unicorn, these things could only be slightly better than rocks. I'm going all out. Long Fei moved, using his points to exchange for a pill. Holding it in his hand, he said, "Do you know what this is? This is a supreme spirit pill, and eating one is better than eating one is comparable to eating a living immortal. Also, eat one, and all the bags on your head will be gone." The fire unicorn had an expression of disbelief. Long Fei casually tossed it away and said, "You'll know once you eat it." He threw the pill over. Fire unicorn really couldn't hold it back, and he was so hungry that he bit down on it. He swallowed the pill. He even had time to react before swallowing the taste. The fire unicorn's face was expressionless. Long Fei clenched his teeth and thought, "Fine, I will go all out." He directly used all his points to exchange for some healing pellets. This kind of pellet tasted sweet, cool, and seeping through the body. It was something that fire unicorn would definitely like. One was not enough. Then now, 300 pills. Long Fei's heart ached for the bumpkin. For the sake of this fire unicorn, he had to use both soft and hard methods, so whether or not he succeeded would be up to the heavens. Long Fei threw 300 pills to it. When the fire unicorn caught it in its mouth, he lightly chewed on it. At this moment, his eyes shone brightly as if he had entered a dreamlike world. It was incomparably wonderful, just like a child eating sugar. Following that, the large bump on top of his head disappeared one by one. To him, this was incomparably miraculous. The fire unicorn ran excitedly to Long Fei's side and asked, "Is there anything else? Anything else?" "It's too delicious." Long Fei felt a wave of pain. 300 pills were gone just like that, but he still pretended to be a tycoon. He disdainfully asked, "What are these pills for?" "I still have a lot of pills that are better than this in my house. There are tons and piles of them. I can buy as many as I want. Want some?" The fire unicorn nodded like a chick pecking at rice. "Yes, yes, yes." Long Fei immediately said, "Then did you agree to follow me?" "If you didn't follow me, I wouldn't have fed it to you. From now on, I'm your boss. My word is an order. Just do whatever I say. If you can do it, then I'll make it so that you won't be able to eat all the medicinal pills in your lifetime." The fire unicorn's face was full of excitement, and almost without any consideration, it said, "Boss." Long Fei was overjoyed. He coughed and said, "Don't shout too early. Do you know the way to leave this place?" The fire unicorn nodded quickly, then quickly shook its head. Long Fei said furiously, "Do you know or not? You can't even do such a small thing, And you still want to eat my pellets? The fire unicorn seemed to have made a difficult decision and said, I know, but you have to promise me that you will give me pellets to eat. Long Fei said, Long Fei, will definitely speak the truth. All right, the fire unicorn said, then I'll follow you. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for acquiring 100,000 experience points and 10,000 special Holy Source rewards. Long Fei's Warpet space had one more fire unicorn. Long Fei placed the fire unicorn on the trading system and looked at his trading points. 1,000,000,000,000. 1 billion. Oh my God! I've struck it rich. Ha ha ha. Chapter 1195, Old Lord Taishang Possession. Chapter 1195, Old Lord Taishang Possession. Good or bad things could be measured with points. Demon Ox God Blood Vein was worth 38,000 points. Holy Vein of the Divine Level, it was not good at all. The value of the Fire Unicorn was 1 billion. What kind of concept was that? This was going crazy. Long Fei was grinning from ear to ear. Fortunately, he had succeeded, otherwise he would really die here. And then, Long Fei asked, how do I leave this place? The Fire Unicorn said, Master, the mechanism is under the magma. Long Fei stared blankly as his back was drenched in cold sweat. Who dares to jump into the lava? Long Fei said, do you have a way to bring me down? Fire Unicorn said, sit on my back. Long Fei looked at the flames on the Fire Unicorn's body and became a little hesitant. The Fire Unicorn said, Master, as long as I agree, I can carry you with me, and even if it's any flame, it won't get hurt. Since he said it like that, then what was there for Long Fei to be afraid of? The Fire Unicorn also knelt down on the ground, lowering its body completely in a standard mount posture. In his mind, he fantasized about eating a lot of spirit pellets. Saliva dripped from his mouth when he thought of this. Just like the Fire Unicorn had said, sitting on his back, he could not feel any heat from the flames. He could not even feel the heat emitted by the lava as the idea said, let's go. Boom. The Fire Unicorn flew up into the air and dived into the lava. He didn't know whether to look or not. Long Fei was shocked once again. This is called magma. This was clearly a sea of lava, like how it was deep in the ocean. If not for the Fire Unicorn, it would be impossible for Long Fei to descend with his current cultivation. This caused Long Fei to be even more interested in the Yuan Xiang Giant Formation. Just what is hiding that needs such a powerful formation to guard it? Long Fei started to ponder in his heart. It's a huge array on the first floor. Could it be that it's really hiding the legendary beast that transformed its body into a Yuanyang mountain range? Isn't that a legend? Long Fei had seen legends about the Yuanyang mountain range. This unending stretch of Yuanyang mountain range was formed from the flesh of a world beast that had rushed out from the Yuan Chao world being destroyed by the Chaos Realm's power of law. It was impossible for such a massive world beast to exist. Just as Long Fei was thinking about these, the Fire Unicorn said, Master, look, that's where the mechanism is. The Fire Unicorn looked at a small disc that was deep underground. The disc was engraved with all kinds of strange runes. It did not belong to the Chaos Realm, nor did it belong to God's martial continent. Long Fei also did not understand. The disc was similar to a formation aperture, faintly emitting a strong power. Long Fei carefully studied it, but was unable to understand anything. Do you know how to break it? The Fire Unicorn shook its head and said, I don't know. My father told me before that we are the guardian beasts of the two great formations. We cannot leave this place, and we cannot let anyone leave either. He even more so does not want me to touch this formation. I seem to have gone against my father's words. Long Fei immediately said, "The formation was broken by someone. If I had broken the formation, then what are you still guarding here for? A cooked duck can fly away?" Long Fei was really afraid that the fire unicorn would just leave him here and leave him there, then he would instantly turn into ashes. The fire unicorn laughed foolishly. "Don't worry, our clan of fire unicorn will follow them for our entire lives once we choose a master. We definitely won't betray them." Long Fei heaved a sigh of relief in his heart and muttered, "Why didn't you say so earlier?" "A 1 billion points fire unicorn." The fire unicorn said, "Master, do you have a way to undo this formation?" Long Fei studied for a long time, but did not manage to come up with a conclusion. He shook his head and replied, "I don't know, but—" Long Fei moved his right hand. "Golden cudgel." When the golden cudgel fell into Long Fei's hands, he swung his staff and smashed it down fiercely, saying, "There is nothing in this world that energy cannot destroy. Formation, I'll smash it to pieces too. All living creatures in this world will be able to counter it with force." The 108,000 layers of golden cudgel ferociously smashed down on the eye of the formation. Crack! The formation aperture cracked. Magma began to erupt and surge. The fire unicorn immediately said, "Boss, it's over. The magma is erupting and the formation is activating. We will be swallowed by the magma here. This won't do. My dad was right. This formation core is not to be touched." However, Long Fei was not anxious and said, "If one staff strike is not enough, then 2 staff strike." The idea sank. Long Fei's power was linked to the depths of the golden cudgel. His pair of eyes moved slightly and opened. "I want to see how many rods you can take. Rumble!" One swing of the rod to open the sky. The golden cudgel slashed down like a black shadow and struck the eye of the formation. Buzz! With an explosive sound, a powerful shockwave was sent out. The surrounding magma surged with power, as if it was going to erupt from a volcano. However, in a few seconds, the eye of the formation cracked. The power within the magic array was frantically shrinking, and the surging lava was being sucked into the magic array. The suction was too strong, like a black hole swallowing. If the fire unicorn could not control it, then Long Fei was even worse. The fire unicorn shouted, "Master, we're done for. We're about to be sucked in." Long Fei said in a heavy tone, "Hold on tight." Boom! The golden cudgel stabbed into the ground, unmoving like a calm sea god needle. Long Fei tightly held onto the golden cudgel, and the fire unicorn hugged him. The absorption speed was too fast. In half a minute, the oceanic lava world disappeared without a trace, leaving behind a huge cave. The blazing flames also disappeared. Long Fei let out a long sigh. "It's finally over." The fire unicorn was also scared to the point that it broke out in a cold sweat as it muttered to itself, "I thought I was going to fly into the sky." Long Fei walked to the black hole in the center of the formation. "This should be the way down." Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for breaking through the second layer of the huge Yuan formation, obtaining a special reward of level +1, and obtaining a fire unicorn. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Profound Grade 5. It's too fast. The first level. I really wish there were 180 levels that would send me directly to the heavens. Long Fei was excited. This leveling up speed was much faster than killing Demon Beast. Ding! Do you want to devour it? At the same time that Long Fei obtained the fire unicorn, a system notification immediately sounded. Long Fei did not rush to answer, nor check the attributes of the Qilin blood vein. Instead, he directly opened the trading system and placed the Qilin blood vein inside. A huge number appeared on the trading system. 390 million. It was a level higher than the demon ox god blood vein. This was because the Qilin blood vein that Long Fei had obtained had the power of fire. Do you want to devour it? Chapter 1196. Fire Unicorn. Turn him over. Chapter 1196. Fire Unicorn. Turn him over. Do you want to devour it? Who? Long Fei took in a deep breath. It was simply too enticing. The devouring vein in his body was excited, and it seemed to boil. However, Long Fei gave up in the end. Qilin blood vein, the ancient divine beast S, the holy vein S, were incomparably powerful. Also, this kind of blood vein had another name, psychic blood. It could replace the spirit grass's spirit blood. It was a type of spirit grass that helped Yang Yu cure his illness, although it was full of temptation, and could make his blood vein level increase by a few levels. Long Fei endured it. Looking at the fire unicorn's attribute, Long Fei closed his eyes and stopped thinking about it. He also stopped looking at it, afraid that he would not be able to control it. Master, are we going down? The fire unicorn stood beside Long Fei and asked, there should be the third floor down below. Long Fei immediately shouted, get down. He took a step forward. The moment he stepped into the black hole, Long Fei felt as if he had entered another world. A silver light flashed. It was clearly visible inside. This was a huge, spacious, and empty cave. At the top of the cave were a few shining, unknown ores. On the plaza, there was a small altar. The altar was covered in thick dust. There was a hole on the altar, and a ray of light shone down. This hole should be leading directly to the outside. Altar. What is this for? Long Fei's heart trembled. If there was an altar deep underground like this, what was he going to do? Be careful. Long Fei reminded him. He felt a bit of goosebumps in his heart. Altars were usually placed on the ground. This kind of altar used to worship ghosts. The zombies outside. Huge chains. The images of countless coffins on both sides of the abyss flashed past Long Fei's mind time and time again, and he felt that this altar was even stranger. You stay over there. I'll go to the altar and take a look. Long Fei held onto his Azura blade as he slowly approached the altar. He walked around the altar, but did not find anything special, and then walked onto the altar. Atop the altar was a huge black cauldron. It was a very ordinary stone cauldron, and there was nothing special about it. Long Fei raised his head to look at the bright cave, and saw that the cave was connected to the outside. If there is no exit, we can climb out from here. Long Fei muttered. Suddenly, a powerful force immediately bound Long Fei, causing a red light to shine on the altar. That tyrannical power directly pressed Long Fei down onto the stone cauldron. Bang! One strike. The space between his eyebrows split open, and a drop of fresh blood dripped into the stone cauldron. Wang! Buzz buzz. As the blood was absorbed by the stone cauldron, a red light shot up into the sky and directly erupted from the heavenly passage, piercing through the 9 heavens. And at this moment, Long Fei's idea sunk. His consciousness was standing in front of a super huge demon beast. His real size was like an ant. The huge beast in front of him was too powerful. Both his eyes were staring at Long Fei. That kind of pressure could crush him. Finally, a kind of blood vein can activate me. Humans, I thank you. I can fulfill any wish you have. The huge beast said. Long Fei was a little confused and thought, summoning the divine dragon? And then Long Fei said, I don't have any wish, just release my consciousness. Is there such a good thing in the world? Long Fei did not believe it. Don't even think about a pie falling from the sky. Even if you do, it might be out of date. The beast was startled. You are the first human to have no desire. This means that you are not greedy. Very good. Very good. Is there a reward for triggering a hidden quest? Long Fei was secretly excited in his heart. The huge beast slightly said, "If I eat it like this, you won't have to worry about refining your greed." Eat me? Long Fei's body trembled, his gaze secretly tense. The huge beast said, "That's right, your blood vein can activate me. I need more of your blood vein's power. This way I can recover my strength." Tell me, should I eat you? It was said very casually. He did not take Long Fei seriously at all. The corner of Long Fei's mouth curled up, slightly. "You can gain power by eating me." Long Fei raised his head to look, and said, "Then if I explode you, who knows what I'll get?" The huge beast laughed loudly. "You're the only human?" Long Fei replied, "Just me." "Ha ha ha." The huge beast laughed. "You are too arrogant and conceited. I am a giant beast of the Yuan Chao world. If it were not for my wrong calculations, I would not have come here. I am a super beast that is going to rush to the ancient holy battlefield." Long Fei was secretly shocked. It's ancient holy battlefield again. Hanba said this place before. The Rock King said so too. Now, even the Yuan Yang big beast is talking about the ancient holy battlefield. What kind of place is that? Long Fei's heart trembled slightly. "All right, give me all of your power." The gigantic beast glared at Long Fei, and a strong power wrapped around Long Fei, making it impossible for Long Fei's consciousness to break through the shackles. His current body was completely out of his control. He was pressed down by a powerful force, and his body was bleeding profusely. It dripped down into the stone cauldron. Long Fei's consciousness was struggling, but in front of the huge beast, his consciousness was simply too small, unable to struggle free. He could feel his life slipping away. The blood was draining. The gigantic beast smiled and said, "Do you know what that feels like? The feeling of death. Humans, you should feel honored to be able to help me recover my strength." Chapter 1197, Sucking You Asshole. Chapter 1197, Sucking You Asshole. The idea could not connect to the golden cudgel. That was because the golden cudgel was only a weapon. Even if it was at the main artifact level, it was still a weapon. However, the fire unicorn was his war pet, the war pet that the system had recognized. Long Fei's idea had always been able to communicate with the fire unicorn. In that instant, Long Fei roared out, "Fire unicorn, flip it over for me." As soon as his voice faded, buzz. The fire unicorn that was waiting in the distance suddenly roared and fiercely rushed forward. Boom! A power burst out from the altar, wanting to stop the fire unicorn. At this moment, when the fire unicorn sensed that Long Fei's life was hanging by a thread, it didn't hold back at all and exploded forth with its strongest flame power. The moment he crashed into the altar, rumble! The altar crumbled. The roar of a huge beast sounded in the sky. "No! Fire Unicorn was the one who created you. You are the guardian beast of the first round of the formation. How can you betray me?" The moment the huge beast roared, Long Fei's consciousness suddenly rushed out and broke through the bindings. Next, Long Fei's body also regained its freedom. Ding! Red alert! Player's health point is too low. Please add. Red alert! Player's health point is too low. Please add. The system continuously flashed with red light. The sound of the danger alert made Long Fei very unhappy. Ah! He jumped into the air, clenched his right hand, and shouted, "Monkey, give me your strength." Boom! When the golden cudgel landed in his hand, Long Fei clenched his fists tightly and smashed down onto the stone cauldron on the altar, causing the Samisen true fire to burn. Rumble! The altar completely collapsed. A beating heart was frantically absorbing the blood essence from Long Fei's body below the altar. A gigantic heart was as big as 3 Neodashan S. Long Fei was dumbstruck. Is this your heart? Yuanyang Big Beast. The huge beast's voice was still as arrogant as before. So what? Do you think a human and a beast like you can shake my existence? You're the bastard. Master, I'm going to bite it to death. The fire unicorn was instantly enraged. Long Fei waved his hand. No rush. Long Fei laughed sinisterly. Who said I would hurt you? The gigantic beast laughed complacently. Your powers are simply not enough. You are all too weak, just a bunch of ants. Ha ha ha. Without waiting for him to finish laughing, Long Fei slowly walked over and said, Do you know why my blood vein S are so powerful? The beast did not move. Long Fei continued, because it can absorb 10,000 energies. You absorbed my strength just now. Now it's my turn. With a step, he swiftly approached and placed his palm on the enormous heart. Long Fei's gaze suddenly sank as he heavily roared, Suck star over China. Drink it. Walala. His palm was like a black hole, crazily absorbing energy from the huge heart, sucking my blood vein. I will suck you dry. Streams of energy, visible to the naked eye, crazily flowed down from the giant heart. At this moment, the huge beast suddenly became angry. Despicable human, what are you trying to do? Absorb my power? Do you think your body can take it? If you can't take it, I'll suck you to death too. You F***er, continue being arrogant. Long Fei did not stop there. He started to absorb even more crazily. He did not care if his body could take it or not. He only had one goal, to suck you out until you die, you son of a B***tch. Bind your father's consciousness. Drink your father's blood. You even want Lousy to be proud of you? You must be F***king crazy. Now you have to be proud of me. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. The powerful energy continued to be sucked into Long Fei's body, and even the fire unicorn at the side were dumbfounded as they saw it. They kept saying, Master, suck it to death, suck it to death. The giant heart was shrinking rapidly. His energy was also drying up. The huge beast roared like thunder. Human, stop, stop. Stop. Your father wants to suck you to death. Long Fei didn't show any signs of stopping. While he was still sick, he needed his life. Although this was the heart of a Yuanyang big beast. If he could kill it, he could still explode. More importantly, Long Fei needed experience now, an upgrade. Then he couldn't stop. The huge beast said angrily, I am the Yuanyang big beast. Long Fei disdainfully said, Even if you are the king of the heavens, I will still kill you. The huge beast said, If you let go, I can fulfill any of your wishes. I can do anything for you. Are you brainless? Or do you think I'm a 3-year-old? If you have that much power, will you still be trapped here? Long Fei laughed. If he believed the giant demon's words, then he might as well find a piece of tofu to smash himself to death. His IQ was only 5. The giant beast shook, and then furiously said, I have many magical equipment and many spiritual treasures. As long as you let me go, I can give them all to you. Ha ha ha. You have a lot of soul treasures. I'm very sorry. I don't need you to give it to me, because I will personally expose it. Long Fei laughed and said, Yuan Zhenyuan is a fool. It's useless. There is only one outcome for provoking your father. That is to see the king of hell. Drink it. Long Fei's suck star over China moved even faster, not giving the huge beast any chance to escape at all. Giving others a chance to live at this time was equivalent to giving oneself a chance to live. Long Fei was not stupid. This was the heart of a Yuanyang big beast. but the source of Yuan Yang Big Beast's power. The golden light was just like the golden light from Oracle. Its aura was exactly the same. The 18 levels of hell were dilapidated in the god's martial continent. He was one of the few treasures Long Fei brought into the Chaos Realm, and had not reacted to any of Long Fei's space ring-s. Long Fei was shocked by the sudden reaction. Rumble! 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 Sounds of explosions sounded out one after another, and a series of sounds of iron chains being drawn out began to ring out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei, Seal, Yuan Yang Big Beast for obtaining 10,000 experience points, and Holy Source's 1,000 special reward. Buzz. The golden light receded, merging into the first level of the 18 hells. Awoo! The Yuan Yang Big Beast cried out in pain. Following that, everything returned to tranquility. The Yuan Yang Big Beast's power and the power of the 18th level of hell had all disappeared. Long Fei entered the 18th floor of hell and saw that the first floor was filled with chains. The chains were covered with all kinds of seal runes, and there was a gigantic beast in the middle of the chains. A gigantic beast that was twice the size of Bemin, large monster. His body was covered in chains, locking his seal in place. Yuan Yang Big Beast. He sensed that Long Fei's idea had entered the first level of hell, so he opened his eyes slightly. Destroy my altar, hurt my heart, and now you actually place my seal in such a damned place. I want to kill you. I must kill you. The Yuan Yang Big Beast was roaring. However, he could only roar. The figure of Long Fei's idea floated in the air and laughed coldly. Go on. You want to kill me? Come on, come on, come on. King, kill me now. Long Fei's voice became more and more arrogant, and he coldly snorted. You dare to clamor in this daddy's territory? Don't you know whose territory this is? The idea moved. Long Fei controlled the 18th floor of hell. Next, Buzz. With a sudden movement of the power within the 18th level of hell, the chains tightened with a kacha-kacha sound, straightening that Yuan Yang Big Beast up and lifting it up. The Yuan Yang Big Beast's face trembled from the pain. Blood spurted out from its mouth as it screamed in pain. Long Fei did not hold back and coldly laughed. Come, call another one. The strength of the Yuan Yang Big Beastess at the 18th level of hell was completely crushed, completely immobilized. The Yuan Yang Big Beast's eyes were staring straight at Long Fei, its pupils bloodshot and filled with killing intent, but he had no other choice. Here, Long Fei was the king. It was just a tiny ant. Yuan Yang Big Beast. HNG. Stay here. Long Fei laughed coldly, then retracted his idea and returned it to his body. His heart started to tremble. I directly trapped the Yuan Yang Big Beast in the seal. Moreover, the power of the 18th level of hell has completely changed. Could it be that the spiritual treasure that I entered the chaos realm with has become stronger after being baptized by the heavenly tribulation? If that's the case, what about the goddess tear? And what is its power? Just what is it? Ding! Just as Long Fei was thinking about this, the system sounded out once again. The 18 levels of hell that appeared in his mind. A long, evolved groove appeared on the Yuan Yang Big Beast's body, moving up and down bit by bit. It seemed to be evolving and updating. It was like something else. There were 2 words written at the back of the groove. Beast King. The evolution of the Beast King? Could it be that the power of hell's 18th floor isn't seal, those golden light beams, and the power of those chains are able to make the Yuan Yang Big Beast evolve and become stronger? Make me super fighters? He's really going against the heavens. At this moment, the fire unicorn suddenly said, Master, this place is about to collapse. We need to leave quickly. Rocks cracked, and the entire mountain trembled. Long Fei regained his senses and said, Leave. However, Did the Yuan-Guang giant formation break or not? The fire unicorn said, "Master, we don't have to care about that anymore. Escaping is more important. My father once said that not all the huge array around are together. There are many places." Long Fei turned his body and sat on the back of the fire unicorn. The fire unicorn moved, fiercely charged forward, turned into a ball of flame, and charged straight out while burning. Chapter 1199, Causing Trouble? I'd like to see you. Chapter 1199, Causing Trouble? I'd like to see you. Rumble. Rumble. The entire Yuanyang mountain range was violently trembling. The mountain exploded. The low hum of 10,000 beasts. The mountain range was like the end of the world. What is going on? Many buildings had collapsed and turned into ashes. Those elders and disciples could not stand steadily, and the holy source's aura within 1,000,000 kilometers of them became chaotic. It did not help them at all when absorbing into their bodies. Ren Tianzhan frowned. "Have you found anything? What happened?" A disciple rushed in and reporting to the Grand Master. The origin of the quake came from a valley 3,000 kilometers away. The area within 10 kilometers has already been reduced to ruins. A valley 3,000 kilometers away. Forbidden land for the living. Death Valley? Could it be that something inside escaped? Ren Tianzhan frowned. He was someone who had read through some secret records in the sect master's ability. He knew that there was a powerful seal in Death Valley. There must be powerful demons in the seal. That disciple said, "According to my knowledge, there were no demons that rushed out. At that time, there was only a flame that rushed out and disappeared without a trace." Flames. Ren Tianzhan did not think too much into it. He had nothing to worry about right now. "Where's Long Fei? Have you found him?" An elder shook his head and said, "We sent more than 30 search teams to scour all 18 cities, but we still couldn't find him. It's as if he disappeared from this world." The 18 cities of Yuan Chao world were the only places that led to the outside world. If Long Fei wanted to leave the jurisdiction of the Yuanyang clan, he had to pass through these 18 cities. Ren Tianzhan's eyes darkened, and he said, "Kid, where did you run off to?" They thought Long Fei had escaped. However, they didn't know that Long Fei hadn't left the Yuanyang mountain range and had instead gone to the depths of the mountain range. "Boss, woo woo woo." Niu Dashin's face was full of tears as he cried. Looking at the ruins, both of his hands were bloody, but where was it buried? So deep. "Milord, there's someone here." Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And then a few figures descended and landed behind Nyo Dashin. They were disciples who had entered the city to gain experience, and the clothes they wore were not the clothes of the Yuan Yang clan, but the clothes of another sect. However, there were 2 words embroidered on the back of their clothes: Union of 10,000. It was one of the sects. The shock it had caused was too great. Several groups of people rushed over, all wanting to know what had happened. There was another reason. With such a huge vibration, perhaps some divine object would be unearthed. A middle-aged man walked out and looked at Nyo Dashin, who was crying loudly. He sneered, "A man can cry like this? Dead father or dead mother?" Nyo Dashin ignored him. One of the disciples suddenly moved and landed in front of Nyo Dashin, cursing, "Brat, an elder is talking to you again. Are you deaf?" Nyo Dashin raised his eyes slightly and shouted, "Scram far away." The disciple's eyes grew sinister as he said, "You dog, you're courting death." The disciple drew his sword and stabbed forward. It directly locked onto Nyo Dashin's throat. The middle-aged elder faintly said, "Leave one alive." Shwa! The sword shifted and pierced towards Nyo Dashin's chest. Nyo Dashin was worrying that he had nowhere to vent his anger on. Seeing the sword attacking him, he did not try to dodge, but instead raised his body and rushed forward. Buzz! The king bull's blood on his body erupted. The strong defensive power directly forced the sword to bend. The sword tip could not penetrate Nyo Dashin's body at all. The disciple's face changed dramatically. When the blood vein energy exploded, an even more powerful force exploded out. Without waiting for him to unleash his full strength, Nyo Dashin's fist fell down heavily. Bam! "I told you to scram." A fist strike. That disciple was blasted dozens of meters away, falling to the ground and spitting out a mouthful of blood. What a strong power! The few disciples looked at each other, but they were not afraid. The middle-aged elder coldly smiled and said, "Didn't you guys want to find someone with strong defense and strength to test your strength? He is the best target. To think that a yellow rank 9th pin has such defense and strength. I can tell that his blood vein level is not low. If my guess is not wrong, he should be the genius disciple of the Yuan Yang clan." The few disciples behind him immediately came forward. "Yuan Yang clan? Which one did you offend, the Hell Gate and the 10,000 Alliance? Let's see what the genius disciples of the Yuan Yang clan can do today." Attack. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Asterisk, the 4 figures landed around Nyo Dashin's body in a blur. The middle-aged man disdainfully smiled and said, "Boy, if you can tell me what happened just now, I will make your death a bit more comfortable." Without waiting for the middle-aged man to finish speaking, Nyo Dashin glared at him, shouted, and said, "I told you to scram far, far away." The middle-aged man's face turned sinister. "A mere Yuan Yang clan disciple dares to be so impudent in front of me. Beat him up." In that instant, the 6 disciples moved at the same time, and at this moment, they had all released their powerful blood veins, innate strength. 3 of the 6 were ferocious beast blood vein, and the other 2 had even stronger blood vein. Everyone's cultivation level was higher than Nyo Dashin. 6 people ganged up on 1 person. Nyo Dashin was simply unable to resist it at all. The king bull's blood's defenses were destroyed, and a few bloody holes appeared on his body. The middle-aged man sneered, "Kid, even now you are in a rush to say it. Long Fei might not be able to live after being buried, but since that's the case, Nyo Dashin did not want to live either. He stared at the middle-aged elder and bellowed. I said, scram. Kill." The middle-aged man's gaze turned sinister, and his killing intent surged. And then the 6 disciples attacked even faster. Nyo Dashin also looked like he was giving his all. He didn't try to defend at all. Even if he died, he had to pull someone down with him. However, the difference in cultivation was too great. He alone was not enough to withstand the attacks of the 6 people. After a few rounds, Nyo Dashin's body had more and more wounds. At this moment, within the forest, a few men stood in silence. They did not have any intention of interfering. Yuan Yang clan's disciples are too useless. No, he's not even a disciple of the Yuan Yang clan. He's just a slave. Did you see the standard of the slaves on his chest? Holy Moon sect against a slave. Suddenly, the few men frowned. It's him. His height isn't right. Body size and appearance characteristics are also wrong. He's not the person we're looking for. At this moment, a figure landed from the sky, holding a handful of mountain-splitting meat. He quickly charged forward. At this moment, the few men took out a portrait, then looked at Long Fei with excited expressions. Long Fei landed and quickly charged forward, watching Nyo Dashin getting surrounded and beaten up by the 6 people. His fury surged. Damn it! Are they giving me experience and striking energy value? Chapter 1200 Reward Hunters. Chapter 1200 Reward Hunters. He quickly rushed out. The staff dragged the ground, and the flames scattered everywhere. Nyo Dashin was forced to retreat. 6 people, 6 swords attacked in unison, their lives hanging by a thread for an instant. Nyo Dashin shouted loudly, "Boss, I'm coming with you." Boom! One swing of the staff blocked 6 slashes. A figure landed in front of Nyo Dashin and said, "Where are you going to accompany me?" A familiar voice. Nyo Dashin was startled. He rubbed his eyes as he looked at Long Fei and laughed foolishly. Boss, I knew it. I knew you would be fine." Humph! Nothing will happen now. Amongst the 6 of them, a man's sword suddenly changed forms like a spirit serpent, and his body directly pierced towards Xiang Longfei's throat like a spirit serpent. Die! Spirit serpent blood vein. The power of the spirit serpent blood vein of the 3 senior brothers. The spirit snake has mutated. This is a killing move. He's definitely going to die. Long Fei smirked and said coldly, "Strength of the blood vein? Then let me show you the power of a blood vein." With a flip of his right hand, all 5 of his fingers formed a claw. Boom! The man could not control his body and rushed towards Xiang Longfei. A palm struck his chest, and he also thrust out, but in this instant, his strength rapidly shrank, and all the strength in his body burst out crazily from his chest. Clang! The sword fell down, and the body turned into a mummy. His entire body was sucked to death. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Holy Moon Sect disciple for obtaining 1200 experience, 100 holy source, and 10 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 1 profound stone. Everything happened too quickly. After fusing with the Yuan Yang big beast, the devouring vein once again soared up 2 levels, reaching level 22, and its suck star over China became even more powerful. A 9th level black level martial artist was sucked dry in a few seconds. It was a full 2 times faster than being at level 20. The higher the blood veins rank, the stronger their power. The surrounding people were all dumbfounded. The few disciples of Holy Moon Sect were so scared that their faces turned pale. Demonic art! It's a demonic art. This person is from the demonic sect. The face of the elder from Holy Moon Sect darkened. His 2 eyes stared straight at Long Fei. "You are merely a profound rank level 5 trash. Go and kill him." Long Fei laughed coldly. "Come. None of you are leaving today." Long Fei did not stop there. The energy that he had absorbed from the spirit serpent blood vein had been fused with the other energies. At this moment, a man walked out of the forest. A few people followed behind him. The man's gaze stayed on Long Fei the whole time, not moving at all. The Holy Moon sect elder snorted coldly. Who are you? Could it be that he wants to interfere in the affairs of my Holy Moon sect? His words were filled with arrogance. He was reminding those people to mind their own business at Holy Moon sect. However, the rest of the people ignored him. They did not even look at him, but started striding towards Xiang Longfei. In their eyes, there was only a goal. As for anything else, they did not put him in their eyes. Holy Moon sect's expression changed, as if he had been humiliated. His eyes roared. I'll say it again. This is a matter of my Holy Moon sect. Not waiting for him to finish, a shadow flashed, and a cold sword was pointed at his throat as he coldly said, "Try saying one more word." It was too fast. It was so fast that no one could react at all. Even the Holy Moon sect clan elder could not react in time, as the cold sword in his throat could easily take his life. At this moment, he didn't even dare to breathe. The man looked at the Holy Moon sect elder coldly and snorted disdainfully. He slowly took a step back, sheathed his sword, and chased after the group once again. For people, it had lost all signs of life, just like four ghosts. The leading man walked in front of Long Fei and asked directly, "Your name is Long Fei?" Long Fei was secretly shocked. "How do you know my name?" Leader smiled, slightly. "Looks like we came to the right place on this trip. Considering your special identity, I need to tell you this. We are hunters from the Bounty Gate. Someone is paying a high price to kill you." When the few disciples of Holy Moon sect heard the words Bounty Gate, their expressions all changed slightly. That elder Shun Yu's face turned pale. Long Fei looked at the man and said, "So you came to kill me?" The man said, "You can put it this way. If you obediently follow me, you will be able to live for a few more days, because the price of living is twice the price of dying." Long Fei was startled again. Could it be that someone wants to buy my life? The man said, "Yes, Hell Gate." Long Fei was secretly shocked. It's Hell Gate again. And then Long Fei thought of Lai Yen, who escaped last time, and said, "Then the one who wants my life should be the Myriad Alliance." The man said, "You are very smart. A smart person would probably make a smart choice. We will earn more if you live, but if you want to die, we won't lose because this is a big deal." Actually, he also did not know Long Fei's identity. The Hell Gate and the 10,000 Alliance sect both wanted this kind of person. This kind of person's identity should be very special. What kind of existence was this? He really couldn't figure it out. The rules of the Bounty Gate was to ask yourself for your goals and not ask about anything else. Long Fei said slightly, "I want to live, but I won't go with you, and you actually know that my identity is special? Then it's best if you don't provoke me." "It's fine if you don't provoke me. If you dare to provoke me, then I'm sorry. I will destroy your 18 generations of ancestors." Long Fei was not one bit scared. Who cares if it was Bounty Gate or some boolsh asterisk T-door? They wanted to capture him. That would depend on whether the golden cudgel in his hands agreed or not. "Ha ha ha." The man laughed out loud and said, "Maybe you don't know the methods of our Bounty Gate, but once the mission is issued, it won't stop until one of us dies. So, it would be best if you could live. It doesn't matter even if you die." In that instant, the man suddenly attacked. Boom! With one hand grabbing Xiang Longfei, the claw beneath the black robe struck like a ghost. Long Fei was not slow, but compared to the man's speed, he was much slower. Boom! A loud explosion resounded. Long Fei was instantly sent flying. The man disappeared. Long Fei's heart stirred, and he thought to himself, "This is bad." The man's figure was already waiting at the point where he landed. It was too fast. His cultivation was too strong. Damn it! Nyo Dashin crawled up, and like an ox, he charged forward. Boom! Nyo Dashin was also sent flying. The moment the man made his move, Long Fei moved in midair. Wind God leg. A series of kicks came flying down. However, before he could kick him, the man grabbed his foot and heavily smashed it onto the ground. Long Fei smashed onto the ground, and a deep pit appeared. Long Fei lied in the pit and was unable to move. Chapter 12:01 Opening of the Bounty System. Chapter 12:01 Opening of the bounty system. The difference in cultivation was simply too great. Speed, strength, and reaction speed were on completely different levels. The disciples of the Holy Moon sect were all stunned. Bounty Gate is truly worthy of being called a Bounty Gate. He's too strong. They're probably still one-star hunters. Bounty Gate has existed for tens of thousands of years and is growing stronger and stronger, so few powers in the entire Chaos Realm dare to offend them. The key is that they remain neutral and only accept hunting missions. How much is this bounty? Why are both the Hell Gate and the Myriad Alliance sect issuing missions? The people of Holy Moon sect did not understand. Seeing Long Fei being almost killed, admiration filled their hearts. They knew that they were no match for him. The man stood at the side of the pit and looked at Long Fei, who was in the pit. Do you still want to fight? The other three walked up to Long Fei with looks of contempt and said, Brat, don't look for trouble. You won't be given any chances in front of us. It could be seen that their attacks were extremely ruthless. Furthermore, they wouldn't give each other any chance. Long Fei spat out a mouthful of blood, curled his lips, and laughed coldly. You're not giving me the chance? Is that so? Look at what's behind you all. Flames shot up into the sky. An enormous demon beast stood not far behind them, its two eyes staring straight at them. What's that? Divine beast. The flame that came out of the explosion. But what does it have to do with him? The expressions of the four Bounty Gate changed slightly. Leader said, The three of you deal with him. I will take this kid away. The aura of the fire unicorn made them feel afraid. The man stared at Long Fei, who was in the pit, his eyes filled with killing intent. As long as he could not take Long Fei away alive, he would kill him because he could be considered as having completed the mission. In the history of the Bounty Gate, there had never been a mission failure. This was impossible. Fire unicorn, kill them all. Boom. The fire unicorn roared, and the flames on its body burned even more intensely. Boom, boom, boom. With three loud bangs, the three bodies turned into lava, melting bit by bit without leaving even a single trace of bones behind. Instant kill. A system announcement rang out in Long Fei's mind. Ding, ding, ding. The fire unicorn was his war pet, so he could naturally gain experience from killing them. Leader's expression changed greatly. He had expected the strength of the erroneous fire unicorn, and the flames on his body were completely different from normal flames. His body moved, and his gaze locked onto Long Fei. Since I can't take you away alive, then die. The man moved, clawing at Xiang Long Fei's head. Long Fei's brows twitched, and said, If you have the guts, then come. The golden cudgel held onto the staff tightly, the surface of the staff burning. At the moment when the man attacked, Long Fei also threw out the staff. The power of Samisen true fire. Rumble. Bang. 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 The moment the two energies collided, Long Fei's arm went numb. He could not endure it any longer, and at this moment, the leader also did not feel well either. He did not expect Long Fei to still have such a powerful strength. One strike was blocked. Leader's gaze darkened. The killing intent in his eyes grew thicker. However, at that moment, the fire unicorn had already landed beside Long Fei, who crawled up from the ground. Without waiting for the man to attack, Long Fei leapt up, sitting on the fire unicorn's back. Then the idea moved and said, Now, It's your turn to abuse me. Buzz. A red light flashed. The fire unicorn was unimaginably fast. It landed beside the leader and smashed the ground with its staff. The man was sent flying. Without waiting for him to hit the ground, the fire unicorn followed Long Fei's ideas movements and instantly arrived at his landing point. Another staff smashed down. A deep crater formed on the ground, and then Long Fei jumped down from the fire unicorn's back. The golden cudgel in his hand struck the man ruthlessly in the pit like a dog and shouted, "Bounty Gate! Kill me? Come on!" Boom, boom, boom. The man was instantly smashed into a bloody mess. No matter how much blood was on his head, he could not withstand Long Fei's barrage, and could not resist it at all. When his HP fell, so did his blood. Explode for lousy. Boom. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing 1-star hunter for obtaining 5,000 experience, 390 holy source, and 10 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 10 profound stones. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Netherworld Claw. Do you wish to cultivate it? Congratulations, player. The system sounded out continuously. Just as Long Fei was about to stop because of the system beep rang out once again. Ding. Congratulations, player Long Fei for triggering reward system. Reward system activated. 100 experience points, 100 holy source, 100 points, special reward. The bounty system? This is a new system after all. It had never appeared in the gods' martial continent before. It was also at this time. The faces of the Holy Moon sect disciples all became pale, and their bodies slowly shrunk. The corner of Long Fei's eyes turned cold. The idea moved and said, "Kill, don't leave a single one alive." Roar. The fire unicorn roared and rushed out. It only took a few seconds to return to Long Fei's side, and during this period, it did not even let out a single scream. 5 prompts sounded out in Long Fei's mind. At this moment, Long Fei activated the bounty system. The bounty system task. None description. The system automatically issues tasks that are either high, low, or random. After the task is completed, the next task can be issued. TL. Rookie, 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 rookie. Description 2. The higher the level of the quest, the more generous the rewards. Description 3. The reward points obtained from completing the mission can be exchanged for open secret realm S. Description 4. Secret world. Heaven Fairyland, prehistoric secret world, heavenly dragon secret world, ancient secret world, refining speed to become a secret world, alchemy to become a secret world, forging speed to become a secret world. A series of descriptions. Long Fei saw it very fiercely. Isn't this way 2F * king overbearing? The bounty system is so awesome. The key is, this bounty system is completely tailored for me. If I have enough points and skills to exchange for secret world, wouldn't the so-called secret world be an instance dungeon? Wouldn't that be giving me experience? Long Fei was overjoyed in his heart. Also, there's even a vice secret world. Do you need to be so good? Ha ha ha. Nyo Dashin walked over and said, "Boss, the Bounty Gates hunters are all-powerful assassins. Are we really okay if we kill them?" The Bounty Gate had never had a record of failure. This time, he failed. It was very obvious that Long Fei had provoked an extremely large power. The corner of Long Fei's mouth lifted slightly and said, "It's not that we're fine, it's that they're busy. Bounty Gate, if you want your father's life, your father will turn you into a berserk dog." Long Fei's gaze was filled with killing intent. Chapter 12:02, Level 10, Berserk. Chapter 12:02, Level 10 Berserk, the Hell Gate, the Bounty Gate, and the 10,000 Alliance Sect were all superpowers of the Chaos Realm. existences as powerful as giants. None of these powers could be easily countered by a single person. No doubt about it. Long Fei's identity was the youth master of Hellgate, but the people of the Hellgate did not let him off. He did not know the reason, but he knew that the Hellgate had angered him. The same was true for the Million Souls sect. Long Fei did not know how strong his power was, but if they actually sent someone to kill him, then other than Lai Yen, he would also be the one provoking him. As for the Bounty Gate, the Hitman organization was a hitman organization. If they wanted to call themselves a noble bounty hunter, then let's see who kills who. It was not Long Fei who provoked them. It was that they had angered Long Fei. They had the same temper, but the meaning was completely different. Half a moment later, Niu Dashin swallowed a few pills, stabilizing his injuries, and said, "Boss, what do we do now? Go back to the Yuanyang clan, or do you want to do something?" Long Fei glanced at the fire unicorn beside him and said faintly, "Now let's crazily kill." Right now, he could only find the spirit blood. The other spirit grass had not been found yet. With the fire unicorn above the head, wouldn't the entire Yuanyang mountain range be turned over? Long Fei moved and said, "Attack." After Long Fei and the others left, a figure walked out of the darkness. Hellgate Junior Master is indeed extraordinary. To think that even the ancient divine beast can listen to his commands. Interesting, very interesting. As soon as he finished, the figure disappeared on the spot. 2 days later, ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 1,200 experience while killing 3 star monster, 100 holy source points, and 1 energy values point. Ding! Player Long Fei using level 1 Berserk, please choose. Domain Treasure Series. The main gun's energy is filling up. Buzz. The 5th layer's energy has been filled. The main gun is ready. Please choose your target. After the energy was filled, the corner of Long Fei's mouth curled up. With this cannon, it would be equivalent to adding a life-saving talisman. No matter how strong he was, as long as it posed a threat to his life, he would be blasted away with this cannon. Next, I have to get something big. Let's see what rank 10 Berserk energy is. Long Fei became excited. If you want to cause trouble, you need to cause trouble. Secondary Violent Ghost has 1,000 points of energy values, 3 levels and 5,000 points for levels and 20,000 points. This daddy wants to go berserk at level 10, then see if I can get a Sky Emperor or something. Niu Dashin, be more ferocious. Long Fei roared. Rin Tianzhan was also extremely resentful towards Yang Wanu. If not for him letting Long Fei go, would they even need to be so passive? Rin Tianzhan's eyes turned sinister as he shouted, "Yang Wanu, even though you went to the Abyss Swamp, your daughter is still here. She won't let me off easily, and I won't let you off either." Sect Master, I heard that Long Fei gave her 2 destiny pill before he left. Without the destiny pill, she would slowly age and wither. This is what Yang Wana doesn't want to see the most. How about? Rin Tianzhan frowned. Yang Wano had left for more than a month, and either he died in the Abyss Swamp or he had already escaped. If that was the case, Rin Tianzhan hardened his heart. Yang Wano was the one who was heartless first. Don't blame me for being unjust. His gaze darkened. The elder immediately understood and smiled slightly. The crowd dispersed. In the sect head's courtyard, the last 7 days, Ren Tianzhan felt goosebumps. He did not want to die. He really did not want to die. Right now, he was willing not to be the Yuanyang clan lord. Yang Wanu. Oh, Yang Wanu, did you anticipate all of this from the very beginning? Give me the position of sect master, and I will be in dire straits. You're in a good position right now. You ran away, but I still have to guard here. Why should I? Why should I guard here? Rin Tianzhan was raging. And then his gaze turned sinister as he laughed coldly. You can leave, but why can't I? Who said that the Yuan-Yang clan's sect master must guard here with all his might? Rin Tianzhan laughed. Men, real face is in closed-door cultivation. I won't see anyone. Don't let anyone disturb me. After explaining all of this, Rin Tianzhan turned into a ball of light and escaped. Longface shouted and said, Keep pushing, keep killing. I need more demon beast and more demon beast. The thousandly path begins with a single step. If level 10 berserk can't be done with it, can't I, this father, rank 6 berserk be done with? Kill. Longface shouted. The flames on the fire unicorn's body began to burn as it rushed into the forest and began a new round of slaughter. A few days. His striking energy value had increased by quite a bit again, and his experience points had soared to 99%, but he had still almost leveled up. 7-star Herba's spirit grass still had not been found. This was the main spirit grass. If they couldn't find it, the antidote simply wouldn't be able to come out. Because of this, Long Fei was a little agitated. Not in the exchange system. I haven't been able to find it for a whole month. Isn't this class mission way too difficult? Mission time, half a year. There was plenty of time, but if he couldn't find the spirit grass, even if he was given 10 years, he wouldn't be able to complete the mission. The most important thing was that Long Fei didn't want Yang Yu to wait for too long. To not be able to cultivate was undoubtedly the most painful thing in one's life. Boom, boom. A few rumbling sounds could be heard from the forest. After another 2 days, Long Fei leveled up once again, reaching the first stage of the purple level 1, and his striking energy value increased by quite a bit. At night, in another place, Rin Tianzhan changed into a new set of clothes and walked in the forest with a faint smile on his lips. There are still 2 days until the deadline, and 2 days later, when the Yuan-Yang clan is extinguished, yet they were able to survive. Ha ha ha. What Zhengyuan inheritance? What is it about the overall situation? It's all bullshit. Only my life is most important. As long as I have my life, then everything is possible. Rin Tianzhan was at ease. At that very moment, he did not go to the 18 cities of the Yuan-Yang clan, but instead hid deep in the mountains of the Yuan-Yang mountain range. Finding someone in the Yuan-Yang mountain range was even harder than finding a needle in a haystack. That was his cleverness. When I'm out of the limelight, everyone will think I'm dead. Who will remember me? Give me a few years, I'll establish another sect. Ren Tianzhan was excited and proud. There was nothing to worry about. He wasn't as anxious as he was at the time in Yuan-Yang clan, and fear faintly rose in his heart. Now he was at ease. He felt like he was escaping from the grave. What smell? Ren Tianzhan sniffed the air and smelt an enticing burnt smell. His stomach could not help but growl. Immediately, Ren Tianzhan didn't think too much either. The entire Yuan-Yang clan's disciples were all in the Yuan-Yang clan, and no one came out. It was impossible for him to meet anyone from the Yuan-Yang clan. So what if he met her? Since he was the #1 powerhouse, he could just kill the person he met. Thinking of this, Ren Tianzhan quickly stopped moving forward. Delicious! It's too fragrant. Boss, your cooking skills are too excellent. The meat is tender and juicy. It's very delicious. Niu Dashin gulped down the meat, his mouth dripping with oil as he spoke. Long Fei muttered, the Qilin's grilled meat is naturally different. It was difficult for ordinary flames to penetrate, and it was difficult for the meat inside to be cooked, but it was different for the fire unicorn S. Fire unicorn S were simply a moving grill. At this moment, the fire unicorn's eyes suddenly looked up. Long Fei's gaze also tightened. There's someone here? Huh. Ha ha ha. No wonder my people couldn't find you. How can you be found while you're hiding in the Yuanyang mountain range? Ren Tianzhan's eyes lit up. He never would have thought that he would meet Long Fei in the Yuanyang mountain range. However, Long Fei also did not expect to meet Yuanyang clan Lord Ren Tianzhan. What made him even more surprised was that right now, Ren Tianzhan's body was emitting a bright light, completely in the state of a boss. The boss had mutated. At this moment, a red light flashed inside Long Fei's mind. Ding! The bounty system has been triggered. A quest has been issued. Mission: kill Ren Tianzhan. Difficulty: 5 stars. Reward: 100 profound stones, 10 experience elixir S, 1 special item, 1 special card, 3,000 bounty points. Looking at the mission issued by the system, Long Fei was a little confused. My darling, you started off killing the Yuanyang clan's sect leader. Do you need to play it so fiercely? Although Long Fei said that, in his heart, he was very excited, because the rewards were simply too generous. I like it when you play it big. Ha ha! Chapter 1204, Killing Ren Tianzhan. Chapter 1204, Killing Ren Tianzhan, the bounty quest, was suddenly announced. This caused Long Fei to be caught off guard, but he didn't manage to defend it at all. Looking at the golden light being emitted from Ren Tianzhan's body, Long Fei became excited and said excitedly, "A sect master level boss. It must be very strong, right?" Ha ha! Ren Tianzhan walked over and said, "Long Fei, you really know how to dodge." Long Fei pretended that he did not know anything, but in his mind, he kept thinking of ways to deal with him. Use the main gun? Isn't it too much of a waste? Main gun are life-saving talismans. Unless you have no other choice, you cannot use them. If I can succeed in ambushing him. Main gun was the last choice. This was because one shot could only be used at a time. Once it was fired, it would be gone. If he could succeed in his sneak attack, he would save a shot. But Long Fei did not know that Ren Tianzhan escaped from the Yuanyang clan. If he knew that, he would directly blast him up with his cannon without hesitation. Long Fei said, "I came out to look for something." At this moment, when Ren Tianzhan saw the fire unicorn at the side, his gaze darkened. He could feel the blazing fire energy from the fire unicorn's body. Ancient divine beast. Long Fei, from the looks of it, the intense vibration from a month ago was caused by you. So this fire unicorn is the flame? Ren Tianzhan's eyes revealed a greedy look. Who doesn't want the ancient divine beastess? This fire unicorn was too strong, and it was still in its infancy. If it was in its adulthood, then it would definitely be even more powerful. Long Fei replied. Yes, Ren Tianzhan smiled slightly and said, "Seems like you have already subdued him." Long Fei replied. More or less, Ren Tianzhan said. "Give him to me, and I will spare your life. What do you think?" His voice suddenly changed. Long Fei's gaze trembled slightly as he pretended to look at Ren Tianzhan with an astonished expression. "Sect master, you're not joking, right? He's my war pet. How can I give him to you?" Sect master Ren, if you like it, I can help you catch a few better mounts when the time comes. After all, this is the Yuanyang mountain range. They have all kinds of mounts. Ren Tianzhan's gaze turned cold as he said in a cold voice, "Long Fei, I'm giving you face by taking a fancy to your mount. If I were you, I would hand it over." The change happened too quickly. Long Fei was a little confused. He was a completely different person from when he was in Yuanyang clan. If that was the case, if you don't give me face, then why should I give you face? Long Fei sneered coldly. Ren Tianzhan, you don't have to give me face, and you're not me either. You don't even have the qualifications to become my fart. Do you understand? Nyo Dashin suddenly stood up. The fire unicorn also became cautious and said to Long Fei in its heart, Master, this guy is very strong. How could the Yuan Yang clan's sect leader not be strong? He was the peak powerhouse of the Yuan Yang clan. His cultivation was unfathomable. Ha ha ha. Rin Tianzhan laughed wildly and said, Long Fei, if it was a few days ago, perhaps I would still be polite to you and have some scruples, because I'm worried that you might leave. How about now? I don't even want the Yuan Yang clan. As for you, Rin Tianzhan's eyes widened and said, if it wasn't for your Yuan Yang clan, we wouldn't have fallen to such a state, and even the 1,000 Alliance sect support could have arrived in time. All because of you. Today, you must either obediently hand over this mount, or I will make you die a horrible death. Long Fei's heart trembled. What did you say? Yuan Yang clan. You don't even want it? Rin Tianzhan's face revealed a touch of coldness and said, there are still 2 days until Yuan Yang clan's deadline. If you are not able to take out the ancient spiritual treasure, Hellgate will let Yuan Yang clan eliminate the sect. Right. Yang Yu's little niece is still in Yuan Yang clan. Her destiny pill seems to be gone. Ha ha ha. Then why did you run out? Long Fei couldn't help but ask. Although he had already thought that Rin Tianzhan had escaped, he still couldn't believe it. A sect leader giving up just like that? Escape alone? How could such a person become sect head? Rin Tianzhan laughed. Do you think I will die with Yuan Yang clan? Kid, don't talk so much nonsense. Hand over this ancient divine beast, and I will let you live. No, it should be to spare your slave's life. Rin Tianzhan laughed. With this ancient divine beast on his back, his time to rise up again was even faster. Nyo Dashin shouted. Rin Tianzhan, who the hell are you scolding? Rin Tianzhan raged, and a strong pressure pressed down on him. Boom. An extremely strong force struck Nyo Dashin's chest. Nyo Dashin didn't even have time to react before he was sent flying several tens of meters away, heavily smashing into a large tree and spitting out a mouthful of blood. The fire unicorn moved. Rin Tianzhan sneered and said, You dare to be so arrogant in front of me? With a flip of his right hand, a powerful net of energy overcame the fire unicorn and said, Bastard, as my mount, I will make you stronger. Follow a trash slave. Do you think you have a future? The fire unicorn was suppressed. Rin Tianzhan's left hand moved, and a long sword pointed at the center of Long Fei's brows as he said coldly, You better not move, or else you'll instantly die. His reaction was as fast as lightning. This was Rin Tianzhan's power. Everything was under his control. Long Fei stood in place without moving an inch. Rin Tianzhan laughed complacently. Obediently give me the idea on your mount. I said that I would spare your life. The fire unicorn was roaring. He was struggling desperately. Nyo Dashin couldn't get up from the ground. The pain was unbearable. Long Fei's eyes became gloomy, and he said, You want the fire unicorn? First come and take my life. Rin Tianzhan laughed. Do you think I don't dare? At this moment, the system sounded out. Ding. Target locked. The corner of Long Fei's mouth slightly hooked up, and said, If you have the guts, come then. Rin Tianzhan's eyes turned sinister as a feeling of being firmly locked onto him surfaced in his heart, but at a time like this, he would definitely not let Long Fei live. The news of his escape must not be leaked out. Even if he did not want this fire unicorn, he wanted to kill Long Fei. In that instant, the sword in Rin Tianzhan's hand moved. Similarly, at this moment, Long Fei moved and linked to the main artifact, Dragon Coffin. The Dragon Coffin resumed its first phase. Ren Tianzhan's pupils shrunk as fast as wheat. He did not retreat, but instead rushed forward in an instant. It was extremely fast. However, so what if he was fast? He pulled the trigger, and the main gun shot out. You fast? Are you as fast as main gun? He can pierce through the void, fly across 10,000 worlds. Can you? Ren Tianzhan's long sword drew a line of blood at the center of Long Fei's brows. The main gun exploded on his chest. With a palm strike on Ren Tianzhan's chest, he shouted loudly, I still need your sect master mark. Absorb it! Rumble! Rumble! When his HP fell, so did his blood. Ren Tianzhan, dead. However, a strange scene happened. Long Fei ran to the edge of a cliff, and there was no more road in front of him. He swung his right arm fiercely and roared angrily at the bottom of the cliff. Release! Rumble! A strong power exploded out of Long Fei's arm, as if the sky flipped and the ground fell, followed by a ray of fire that shot into the sky, forming a huge hemisphere. The hemisphere covers 10 kilometers. Following that, rumble, rumble, rumble. It was like a nuclear explosion. Clang, 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 clang. One after another, shock wave after another exploded out, leaving behind only ashes everywhere. Long Fei was on top of the cliff, using all his strength to defend. It was too hard. Silent distance felt the power of the nuclear bomb. It felt like his body was about to be torn apart piece by piece. F*CK. F*CK. Just how strong is he exactly? Long Fei cursed in his heart. The main gun had locked onto its target, and it died from the cannons. How strong was it? Long Fei did not know. The main gun's power was of the destructive attribute. Its target was locked onto dead. I can't feel how strong it is, now that Long Fei had absorbed the main gun's power. Even though it was only for a second, he would never forget that experience. The entire Yang mountain range shook violently, and a violent explosion could be felt millions of kilometers away. Long Fei was lucky enough to survive. There was no lingering fear, but excitement. This is too amazing. Long Fei was a madman. The fiercer the force, the more he liked it. Long Fei was wild with excitement. If I can absorb all of the main gun's power, my God, then I can release the main gun twice. Even if we can't completely absorb the main gun's power, based on the power just now, who can resist it? Ha ha ha. I'm a genius. Second use of main gun, the strong absorption of the Suck Star over China, followed by its eruption. Although the power was not as strong as the first wave of power, it was still an extremely strong existence. Long Fei was excited. While he was still excited, he noticed that there were some changes to his right arm. Apart from his palm and the back of his hand, his entire arm was a crimson red color. He didn't retreat. Moreover, what was even more crucial was that Long Fei could feel a power that he had never felt before from his right arm. The refinement of the main gun's power, Long Fei moved. This power, so fierce, if I can refine it into a sovereign's arm. Ugh. Long Fei's eyes flashed, and he muttered, Become a sovereign? Damn, can you not be so fierce? The main gun's power was naturally the power of main god. How strong were the arms forged from this kind of energy? Long Fei himself didn't know. Moreover, this was the first time his arm had become this strong. If it was another time, Long Fei was confident that he could absorb the main gun's power for 2 seconds. Long Fei's heart started to boil. However, Long Fei was shocked by the bounty. As for the random card, what was it? They would only know when it was used. Are bounty points and exchange points common? Long Fei opened the system to check, and discovered that the 2 points he had were completely different from each other, even though it was all exchange. However, the bounty points could only be exchanged for replicas, for 1,000 points, to exchange for an hour in the refining secret world, 10 minutes in the real world, to exchange for an hour of secret world S, 10 minutes in the real world. Heaven Fairyland, insufficient points, unable to be exchanged. Long Fei was secretly surprised. Looking at this, it might become the main way for me to level up in the future. The bounty mission was completed. There was another mission, and that was the A-class mission that Zhu Tianquan had given him. This was not the Yuanyang clan, so the mission had to be completed at the Yuanyang clan. Long Fei was not in a hurry either. He had already absorbed Ren Tianzhan's sect master's mark and could release it at any time. As long as he could return to the Yuanyang clan, he would be able to complete the mission. Long Fei wanted to know about it as soon as possible, but in his own space ring, he did not need to worry at all. At this moment, Fire Unicorn and Niu Dashin ran over and looked at the scene of the surrounding area being razed to the ground. Only after seeing that he was safe and sound did he heave a sigh of relief. Niu Dashin heaved a sigh of relief and said, "Boss, you really nearly scared me to death." "What was that just now?" Long Fei grinned. "Something fun." And then Long Fei asked, "Fire Unicorn, how long will it take for you to reach Yuanyang clan from here?" The Fire Unicorn said, "Half a day." Long Fei said, "All right, then we still have a day and a half left, and we'll go hunt more demon beast." Ren Tianzhan had said that there were still 2 days before the people from Hell Gate would arrive, and his sect would be destroyed. He was not interested to know what would happen to the Yuanyang clan S, but Yang Yu had to be all right. She had an S-class character on her, an existence with 3 special rewards. He absolutely could not let it go to waste like this. Also, furthermore, Zhu Tianxuan's mission could only be completed in the Yuanyang clan. If the Yuanyang clan was destroyed, then this mission would be gone. In a day and a half, Long Fei had to try his best to kill them, because the main gun had to be filled up again. The Grand Master has not come out yet. What time is it? Why aren't you out yet? In front of the sect master's secret room, the elders of the Yuanyang clan were all anxiously waiting. Tomorrow was the deadline given by the Hell Gate. Ren Tianzhan still had not come out, which made them even more anxious. Of course, they had no idea that Ren Tianzhan had escaped 7 days ago, and even more so didn't know that he was dead now. "Can you inform them that the people from the Hell Gate are coming tomorrow? We have to discuss the countermeasures, after all." An elder said anxiously. They were like ants on a hot pan right now. One of the disciples shouted, "Sect Master has ordered that no one is to disturb us." "What do you mean, no one is allowed to disturb me? What time is it now? Why is he still in seclusion when his eyebrows are on fire?" An elder was clearly somewhat angry. At a time like this, the sect head should have stepped forward to take charge of the situation. Right now, the Yuanyang clan was in chaos. Everyone was in danger. In just a few days, several elders had already escaped. There was no one to take care of the sect's various matters. The disciple's eyes shook as he said, "Sect Master has ordered me to do a mission first. If you want a barge in..." As soon as he finished, dozens of the sect leaders' royal guards ran out and stood in front of these elders, blocking their way. The faces of the elders changed slightly. In this situation, they didn't dare to act rashly. Right now, their only hope was that Ren Tianzhan would be able to come out of seclusion before the Hell Gate comes tomorrow. But was that possible? Ren Tianzhan lied to everyone. In another place. What the hell is going on? Aren't the demon beasts too few? In 2 days, I couldn't even kill 500 demon beasts. Continue. Chapter 1207, Hell Gate. Chapter 1207, Hell Gate. Once the first round of the array's collapse scared all the demon beast out of their wits, causing them all to flee. Before they could even recover, Long Fei's attack with the main gun's energy had completely destroyed their courage, and they frantically escaped. They had forced those demon beasts from the depths of Yuan Yang mountain range to the surrounding mountains. It's not that the fire unicorn weren't powerful, it's that there were simply no demon beast to be killed. Early morning, Yuan Yang clan, in front of the sovereign's secret chamber. More and more elders came here to wait, and they became even more anxious. Today was the day Hell Gate came. They couldn't resist it at all. Whether it was a battle, falling, or something else, all of it would be decided by Ren Tianzhan. Ren Tianzhan still had not come out of seclusion. What's going on? Can I hide from the Hell Gate when I go into closed-door cultivation? What time is it? Grand Master, are you still not coming out? The number of Imperial Guards increased in number. These Imperial Guards only listened to the orders given by the Grand Master and were told to guard the secret chamber to prevent anyone from entering. At this moment, a disciple ran over anxiously and said, "Fellow elders, quickly go take a look. The Lord of Hell Gate is here." Buzz. Hearing the words Hell Gate, the bodies of these elders trembled, and some elders even fell to the ground unsteadily. Hell Gate. It represented the infernal realm. Open the door and send you to hell. Close the door and you can go on living. If one did not have an ancient spiritual treasure, the gates of hell would definitely send the entire Yuan Yang clan into hell and would never let anyone go. He's here. The people from Hell Gate are here. What should we do? What should we do? All of the elders had pale faces and panicked minds. Their minds were all blank. They had no thoughts at all, and their hearts were filled with fear. Sect leader, did you hear that? The people from Hell Gate are here. If you don't come out, Yuan Yang clan will be gone. Master, several elders shouted. However, there was no reaction at all from the secret chamber. Could he have escaped long ago? Suddenly, the expression of an elder deepened as he spoke. The few elders' expressions instantly changed. They had never thought about this because Ren Tianzhan's performance was very normal. He had also painstakingly become the sect master of the Yuan Yang clan. How could he just give up like that? But this kind of thought continued to grow in their minds. The few elders looked at each other in dismay. Suddenly, boom, boom. The four elders attacked together and launched a sneak attack. The Imperial Guards were knocked off their guards in an instant, rushing through the door of the secret room. However, the secret room was empty. In that instant, the many elders felt as if the sky had crumbled, and their hearts were filled with hatred towards Ren Tianzhan. Ren Tianzhan, you despicable, shameless, and vulgar thing. Do you think that you're worthy to be the sect master of a Yuan Yang clan? You are a pile of dog shit. Ren Tianzhan, you have sold our entire Yuan Yang clan. Ren Tianzhan, you are not a thing. The many elders began to curse. It was also at this time. An elder who was holding onto a flying sword suddenly rushed out. The Grand Master has already left. Are we still waiting for death here? Let's go. If the sect master doesn't care about the Yuan Yang clan, then what do we, the old fellows, care about it? A few clan elders flew out with their flying swords out from the Yuan Yang clan. However, the moment they were about to leave Yuan Yang clan, boom, boom, boom. Several explosions sounded in succession. The elders turned into dust that floated down from the sky. The people from the Hell Gate are here. He will not let anyone from the Yuan Yang clan go, not even a mosquito. Right now, the Yuan Yang clan was only allowed to enter. They were not allowed to leave. Following these few explosions, the Yuanyang clan seemed to explode. Many disciples who didn't know the truth rushed forward, but before they could even get close, they were crushed by the powerful pressure. Miserable screams of pain filled the air. Miserable wails rang out. The scene was appalling. Second elder, Rin Tianzhan the dog has escaped, so has great clan elder. Now, the Yuanyang clan is your highest position. Yes, second elder. I've been struck dumb. An old man was twitching on the ground, foaming at the mouth. Following that, the third elder fainted on the spot. They were all playing dead. No one wanted to be the first one to die, because they would be the first one to die. Just as these elders began to shirk away, a disciple ran up to them and said, "The Grand Elder has returned. The Grand Elder has asked me to send a message for all of you to gather in the Great Hall." Yang Wanu, are you sure it's Yang Wanu? He's not an idiot. Why would he come back? That disciple said, "I am sure it is the Great Elder. He is currently facing the people from the Hell Gate in the main hall of the Yuan Xiang Hall. Let's go take a look." The insane second elder crawled up from the ground in an instant. The third elder, who had fainted, also got up and followed up. "You ran away and came back. You really don't care about your life?" Outside the palace, Yang Wanu stood at the main entrance and looked at the 8 people in the plaza. The clothes worn by the Hellgate S on their bodies were extremely obvious, and just a glance at them would cause him to feel extremely terrified. The person in the middle said, lightly, "I have given your Yuanyang clan a deadline. If he is unable to take out the ancient spiritual treasure today, then there is no need for him to continue to exist within your sect." Yang Wanu clenched his fists tightly. The dignified Yuanyang clan was being bullied like this. He was extremely unhappy, but they had no power to resist at all. Even if there were only 8 people from Hellgate, these 8 people could easily destroy Yuanyang clan. This was the power of the Hellgate. Yang Wanu said slightly, "Yuanyang clan was established 1,000 years ago and will definitely be here in the future." "Humph! Stop talking nonsense. If I can't take out anything, I will turn this place into flat ground." That man's face was filled with contempt. To him, he was merely a Yuanyang clan, an existence akin to an ant. At this moment, the elders of the Yuanyang clan all felt that it was a great hall. The inner and outer court disciples all felt it. "Great clan elder, have you found the ancient spiritual treasure from the Abyss Swamp? Give it to them if you find it." "Yeah." "Stop stalling for time." All of them were extremely afraid. Yang Wanu's brows slightly tightened. Then he took out a completely black item from the space ring and said, "This item." Not waiting for him to finish, one of the Hell Gate's men grabbed at the air and retrieved something from the air and directly grabbed it. The idea moved, and since the item, slightly, it is indeed a good spirit treasure. But with a fierce glare, the power in his hands exploded. The soul treasure was crushed into pieces. The man's eyes were filled with rage as he said, "It's still not up to the ancient spiritual treasure's level. Seems like you are playing with my Hellgate." His killing intent soared. Chapter 12:08 Overbearing Smashing. Chapter 12:08 Overbearing smashing. The atmosphere immediately became tense. Yang Wanu's face tensed up. He had gone through great pains to find that item, and that thing was a high-grade soul treasure, but it was actually crushed by the Hellgate's hands. How strong was this? The faces of those elders darkened immediately, and they automatically took a few steps back, not daring to stand together with Yang Wanu. An elder took the lead and said, "Master, Yang Wanu is the one playing with you, not us." "Right, it's all his fault. It has nothing to do with us." Yang Wanu, are you trying to kill us? They could not bear the anger of the Hellgate. Yang Wanu's face tightened. He had long expected the elder behind him to have such a reaction, but he still could not quite accept it. At this moment, Yang Wanu took a step forward and was not afraid at all as he said, "Since you can't believe it, then there's only the second choice. According to your Hellgate's rules, if you win, you must leave this place unconditionally and must not harm anyone." If a high-grade spirit treasure could not resolve the crisis in the Yuan Yang clan, then there was only one path left: fight. Fighting also had its methods. Hellgate had a rule that if you couldn't take out what they wanted and wanted to protect yourself, there was another way: challenge. It could be a competition of martial power, spirit formations, weapons crafting, and alchemy. As long as he could win, he would be able to save the Yuan Yang clan. But if he lost, he would be doomed forever. From now on, those who are removed from this world, those who are related to you, will be endlessly hunted down until their deaths. As soon as Yang Wanu finished his sentence, all of the clan elders rushed forward and shouted, "Yang Wanu, are you crazy? What are you going to use to fight them? Are you their match? If you want to die, don't pull us into the water, and don't pull our families into the water." How heavy were the consequences of the war? It was unimaginable. Yang Wanu shouted and said, "Since he was killed, why not fight? This is the last bit of dignity we have as warriors." Dignity, my ass. What dogs hit dignity? Life is everything. If you want to die, go die. Don't drag us down with you, and don't harm our families either. An elder rebuked angrily. It was hard to avoid the Yuan Yang clan being destroyed. However, they did not want to implicate their family. Yang Wanu said as his gaze darkened, "It is precisely your weakness that caused Hellgate to be so arrogant. Today, I am the great elder of Yuan Yang clan, and on behalf of the Yuan Yang clan, I declare war on Hellgate." Yang Wanu's heart was determined. He was already prepared. Since he was going to die anyway, he might as well have a fierce fight. A martial artist had to have the dignity of a martial artist. They had to live on the run, and they were afraid of death. Naked contempt. Yang Wanu kneeled on the ground, unable to move. Even the disciples of the Yuan Yang clan were dumbfounded. "Are we still fighting?" The man said coldly. Yang Wanu's eyes were bloodshot and his entire body was drenched in cold sweat, but he still remained determined. "Fight!" "Ha ha ha!" The man let out a mad laugh as he glared at Wang Lin. Rumble! In the air, Lei Sheng exploded. The pressure was like a thunderbolt, striking down with a pooh. Yang Wanu spat out a mouthful of blood, his face turning white. The man smiled and said, "Fight! Are you worthy? Are you qualified?" Yang Wanu was completely crushed. At this moment, a flame flashed in the sky, and then a figure fell from the sky. Seeing Yang Wanu being crushed to the ground, the anger in Long Fei's heart surged, and he said faintly, "He doesn't have the qualifications, do I?" Long Fei rushed over. At this moment, the entire Yuan Yang clan was silent. The expressions of the 8 Hellgate also changed. They stared deadly at Long Fei. His gaze did not move. The man in the lead chuckled, weirdly looked at Long Fei, and said, "Ha ha, Junior Master, you have finally appeared." Chapter 1209, Xianyuan Li Heir, Son of God ranking. Chapter 1209, Xianyuan Li Heir, Son of God ranking. The purpose of this visit was not to deal with some ancient spiritual treasure. It was Long Fei of the Hellgate. When Long Fei did not appear, the man had already tenaciously crushed Yang Wanu. Now that Long Fei appeared, the man's coercion loosened, and he smiled at Long Fei. He said, "Since your junior master wants to fight, then we naturally have to give you face. However, Junior Master, if you lose, you should know the consequences. They were extremely familiar with the Junior Master S of the Hell Gate. The Long Fei in front of him was the Junior Master. There was no mistake at all. It was at this moment. All of the elders said, Master, this person has a super gifted vein. He is comparable to an ancient spiritual treasure. Take him away and let our Yuan Yang clan go. Not waiting for him to finish, the man waved his right hand and made a grabbing motion in the air, immediately grabbing the throat of the elder who was speaking. He looked at Long Fei and laughed. His blood vein possesses super strength. Is it comparable to an ancient spiritual treasure? Humph! You are belittling our Hell Gate as too much. Crack! The elder's neck was crushed, and he died instantly. In front of him, the powerhouse S of the Purple Realm were like ants, with no power to resist at all. Am I right, Junior Master? The man sneered and looked at Long Fei as if he was fish on a chopping board. Boom! At this time, Niu Dashan also rushed over and stood by Long Fei's side. Without waiting for Niu Dashan to speak, Long Fei pulled him back. The man in front of him was even stronger than the last time he came. Moreover, his eyes were filled with a strong killing intent. Without saying a single word, he would kill someone. Moreover, it could instantly kill Niu Dashan. In front of him, Long Fei felt a strong pressure. This pressure was not from his aura, but from his aura. It was from the look in his eyes. It was the feeling of the powerhouse looking down on the weak. Long Fei slightly said, Go and help the great clan elder up. Niu Dashan walked over to Yang Wanu's side, but without waiting for him to help Yang Wanu, the man sneered. Did I let him get up? Long Fei's gaze tightened, and with a heavy sound, he said, Support. The power of the blood vein on Niu Dashan's body exploded outwards. Demon Ox King released his power, held on to Yang Wanu's body, and exerted his strength. But the man laughed coldly and said, I didn't tell him to get up. He would never get up. Kneel. Boom. Yang Wanu's body did not stand up, but kneeled on the ground even more, and the entire ground caved in. Yang Wana spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face became even paler. Niu Dashan used all of his strength. He simply could not do it. Other than Long Fei's own memories, there were no other memories inside. Xianyuan Li'er, 19th son of God ranking, the supreme powerhouse of the bastard realm. Xianyuan Li'er said, You will remember me. You will definitely remember me. I will bring you away. I will bring you away from here. I will bring you to Xianyuan nationality. There will definitely be a way for you to recover your memories and let you recover your strength. It was also at this time. Hellgate said, Miss Holy Maiden, I'm afraid this isn't a good idea. He has already chosen to fight. You should be clear about the rules of Hellgate. Once you choose to fight, you must. Xianyuan Li'er's gaze darkened as he stared at the man. The man's expression suddenly changed, and he heavily kneeled on the ground. Puff, if I say I won't fight, then I won't. Do you really dare to stop me? With a single glance, what kind of power was this? Long Fei was getting more and more confused. He thought that his strength could be considered to be not bad, but compared to these people, he was not even considered dregs. Especially Xianyuan Li'er's power. Powerful to the point of exploding. The 8 of them did not dare to make a move, as they did not dare to provoke this person. This was a powerhouse that was almost as strong as the heavens. Human, earth, heaven, and the 3 great emperors. There were only 100 people in each realm. There were only 100 people in the entire Chaos realm. Human Emperor realm, rank 19th out of 100. Xianyuan Li'er's strength was something that they couldn't even hope to match up to. However, a violet-robed figure flashed. A handsome youth stood in the air and said with a smile, "If Lear and the rest do not dare to stop me, then what about me? Junior Master, today you will fight even if you don't want to. You can't escape." Chapter 12:10, Target Unlocked. Chapter 12:10, Target unlocked 9 secret warrior family. The Zhan Wushuang, who was nicknamed Undefeatable, 26 years old. Emperor List, ranked 9th, an absolute genius amongst geniuses. Other than these titles, he also had a special title, the new Junior Master. Zhan Wushuang floated in midair, with a luxurious body. Every single item was extremely precious. His eyes coldly stared at Long Fei and said, "You can't escape." It was also at this time the 8 Hellgates knelt down heavily and greeted respectfully, "Greetings, Junior Master." Zhan Wushuang ignored him and glanced at Long Fei in disdain, then looked at Xianyuan Lier and said, "Lier, Junior Sister, he has already turned into this dog. Why do you need to help him again? We are destined to be people from different worlds." His words were full of mockery. Long Fei was puzzled. Who was this guy? Xianyuan Lier's brows slightly creased and said, "Zhan Wushuang, you don't have to bother with my matters. I'll do whatever I want. I won't allow you to touch Big Brother Fei." The tone was tough. Her right hand held on to Long Fei tightly, as if she was afraid that something would happen to Long Fei. However, she was also afraid in her heart. The difference between the 19th and 9th place was like heaven and earth. The strength of each powerhouse on the Emperor list was completely different. This was even greater than the difference in cultivation level. Zhan Wushuang smiled slightly. "Of course I need to care about you. Your father has given you to me to protect. How can I not care about you? In addition, as for this stray dog, everyone heard it just now. He chose to fight himself, and according to the rules of the Hellgate, he has to fight, and it won't stop until he dies." Zhan Wushuang would never let Long Fei escape. The current Long Fei was like an ant. He could die with a light pinch. Xianyuan Lier blocked in front of Long Fei with a step and said, "Zhan Wushuang, you want to fight, right? Then I'll fight you." "Ha ha ha. Junior Sister Lier, I won't fight with you. It would hurt my heart to injure you. So don't worry, I won't do anything. Only trash like him doesn't have the qualifications to make me do anything." Zhan Wushuang sneered, then glanced at Long Fei and said, "If you are a man, then don't hide behind a woman. A man should keep his word. Today either you fight, or the Yuan Yang clan rivers of blood will flow, and not a single survivor will be left." Xianyuan Lier said, "Brother Fei, don't be provoked by his words." Zhan Wushuang said, "What's wrong? Scared? The Junior Master S of the Hellgate are actually afraid. Ha! Where did you go to be so arrogant in the past? Now it's your turn to hide behind a woman. You're really a piece of trash." Zhan Wushuang mocked. Xianyuan Lier blocked in front of Long Fei. Long Fei did not know Zhan Wushuang, nor did he know Xianyuan Lier, but from the words they said just now, it was not hard to guess the relationship between them. Long Fei didn't care about any of this. Being bullied by others made him unhappy. Bullying in front of such a beautiful woman made him even more unhappy. With a haughty look, he mocked and mocked nonstop, causing Long Fei to feel extremely displeased. Long Fei was unhappy, but he still had to do it. Then, Long Fei moved. Ding! Target locked. Long Fei sneered in his heart. "What dogs hit Emperor list? I'll blast you to death with a cannon." But at that moment, the system beeped once again. Ding! Target locked. Long Fei's target had locked onto Zhan Wushuang, but in the instant it was locked on, the system instantly determined that it had failed to lock onto him. Long Fei was shocked in his heart. What's going on? Why did the lock fail? There's no reason. Even the powerhouse would not fail to lock onto him. He's just a mere emperor list. How could the main gun not lock onto him? Long Fei was very puzzled. How powerful was the main gun? It actually failed to lock. System, don't you want to give an explanation? Isn't the energy of main gun something that can be killed just by locking on? Why did the lock fail? Long Fei asked. He really didn't like Zhan Wushuang. He didn't want to talk. He just wanted to blast his ass to pieces. It was that simple. However, if the system failed to lock onto him, he would not understand. The system did not reply him, as if he did not know either. Long Fei tried again. Ding! Lock failed. Ding! Target locked. No matter how many times Long Fei tried, the result would be the same. Target locking failed. And he wouldn't be able to kill Zhan Wushuang. If the main gun was unable to do it, Long Fei no longer had any strength to contend against Zhan Wushuang. Every single one of the Emperor List S were dragon among men, unrivaled existences, and Long Fei was simply not a match for them. Zhan Wushuang said with disdain, Long Fei, you should still hide behind a woman, right? Do you think you can be a little more promising? Trash is trash. Sigh. I thought you'd be different after you awaken your power, but it seems like you'll still be the same trash as before. Xianyuan Li'er said angrily, Zhan Wushuang, have you said enough? Zhan Wushuang shrugged and said, Li'er, do you know what he is now? He was a slave. He was a trash. What was his current cultivation? Purple Realm? He is not from the same world as us. Li'er, what's the use of you protecting such a trash? Xianyuan Li'er said, I won't allow you to insult Big Brother Fei like this. Big Brother Fei is not trash, and you don't have the right to call him trash. Shut up. Zhan Wushuang's eyes became angry, and she shouted out loud, Junior sister, don't speak nonsense. Powerhouse is the ruler of this world, and the fittest lives. The weak are destined to be eliminated. This is the law of survival. We are only complying with the law. Long Fei, you won't be able to escape today's battle. The more Xianyuan Li'er defended Long Fei, the more he couldn't let him go. Moreover, to break through from the yellow rank to the purple realm in just a short span of 2 months, this speed was too terrifying. This was not the true power of the youth master of Hellgate. If he used his full strength, it would become a hidden danger in the future. The tactic of the Zhan clan was this. He would not leave behind any hidden dangers. If he wanted to cut the grass, he had to get rid of its roots. Zhan Wushuang would never let Long Fei go. Zhan Wushuang's brows moved and said slightly, since you like to hide behind women, then the 8 people of Hellgate moved through the air and landed in front of the disciples of Yuanyang clan. Kill. Leave none alive. At this moment, Long Fei's heart turned sinister. Fuck, I can't lock onto you. Can I lock onto someone else? Arrogant. Then let's see who can be more arrogant. Ding. Target locked. Boom. Chapter 1211. Defensive Main Artifact. Chapter 1211. Defensive Main Artifact Target Lock. Long Fei didn't even think as he stepped forward. The dragon coffin on his shoulder moved and shot out. Boom. The main gun opened up and shot out. Their target was the leader of the 8 people from Hellgate, who also made Yangwan kneel. With this blast, Zhan Wushuang's face faintly darkened. Rumble! The Hellgate was unable to dodge, and after being struck by the main gun, his body immediately exploded. He had no way to retaliate at all. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Hellgate. Rewards: 500,000 experience points, 45,000 holy source points, 10 energy values. Long Fei did not care about the system beep, but suddenly shouted, Fight kill, what's wrong? I'm only asking you one question. What's wrong? Very arrogant. Everyone was shocked. No one reacted to the sudden shot. Even Zhang Wushuang, who had reacted extremely quickly at that moment, he did not expect Long Fei to blast Hell Gate to death with one shot. One shot, one kill. The cannonball flew right past his face, and Zhang Wushuang could clearly feel that kind of power. An extremely strong existence, and the power of the thing on his body were of the same attribute. Could it be? Zhang Wushuang frowned. He stared straight at Long Fei. Xian Yuan Lier's face was full of excitement as he said, "Big brother Fei, this is your awakened power?" Long Fei said, "So what if you have that little power?" Long Fei stared at Zhang Wushuang. "Aren't we going to fight? Come on, let's continue." Zhang Wushuang was shocked, her face turning ugly, but then he was not scared by Long Fei, and said with a sneer, "Long Fei, do you think you can still emit that energy shockwave just now? You should need energy to fill this thing up, right?" And Zhang Wushuang laughed complacently and said, "Your previous target was me, right? It's just that you were unable to lock onto me, which was why you chose someone else. Trying to scare me? You're still too inexperienced." It was as if he had seen through everything. Long Fei was extremely shocked in his heart, as if he had turned the sky upside down. No one knew about the main gun's attributes, and even more so, no one knew that he needed to be filled with energy. Moreover, he even knew that Long Fei would not be able to lock onto him. Why is that? Suddenly, Long Fei's heart was moved, and he suddenly thought of something. He also has main artifact on him. Defense main artifact. Zhang Xian was astounded. It must be so. As long as I can escape from the main gun's grasp, defensive main artifact. Long Fei was shocked by the defense of the main artifact. The main gun could not lock onto him, and this was the only explanation. And then there was the filling of energy. The defensive main artifact on Zhang Wushuang's body should also need to be filled with energy. Blast him. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly. He was extremely excited and stared at Zhang Wushuang as if he was staring at a tempting woman. Long Fei hated that he couldn't just kill her. At this time, Xian Yuan Lier immediately said, "Zhang Wushuang, Big Brother Fei has won. If he chose a battle, then he would win one. The people of Hell Gate must leave this place." This was the rule. Zhang Wushuang smiled slightly and said, "Lier, you seem to have gotten it wrong. Did I say that he would be sent to battle? No. Since there isn't any, this battle doesn't count. Naturally, he did not win." Zhang Wushuang laughed proudly. Following that, he looked at the other Hell Gate. That person immediately walked out. Zhang Wushuang smiled playfully. "It's only starting now. Long Fei, do you think you are stupid? As the Hell Gate, he actually doesn't know the rules. If you were to blast him to death with your cannon, you would have won." "Ha ha ha. It can't be." Both of Xian Yuan Lier's eyes burned with anger, and he said, "Zhang Wushuang, you are too despicable." Despicable. This is just an excuse for the weak. Zhang Wushuang said with a smile. He was the powerhouse, and the powerhouse was an existence that ruled over everything. All in all, he wanted to play with Long Fei and get rid of him. Long Fei's gaze tightened as he took a step forward. Xian Yuan Lier grabbed him and said, "Big Brother Fei, you're not his match." Long Fei shook her hand away and said, "Don't worry, I'll be fine." Every single powerhouse of the Hell Gate was an expert. The difference in cultivation level was too great. Long Fei was not his match at all, but rather than being crushed, it was better to fight. If they did not win, the people of Hell Gate would definitely not let them off. This place would definitely be a river of blood. This was not what Long Fei wanted to see. Long Fei walked out and said, "I will make you convinced of your defeat." Zhang Wushuang sneered and said, "Come out and fight." "Not bad, not bad." As soon as he finished, the figure of the Hell Gate disappeared in an instant. Long Fei's Purple Realm's cultivation had been unleashed, and he released the idea to sense the location of the powerhouse. Ha ha ha! With the cultivation level of the Purple Realm, even if the idea is released, you still want to sense the position of others. Wow, how powerful is this? This is so scary. Zhan Wushuang laughed. Trash. You don't even know what a difference is. Don't kill him so early. Play around with him first, and kill him after you've played him long enough. As soon as he finished, a voice rang out from the void. Understood. Also at this moment, Long Fei's body sank. Boom. He was sent flying by a force and landed heavily on the ground. Xian Yuan, Li Er worriedly called out, Brother Fei. Niu Dashan also followed. Boss. Long Fei crawled up from the ground and said, Don't come over. I'm fine. Blood dripped from the corner of his mouth as his chest cracked open. The power of the previous strike was very strong, and it was almost impossible for Long Fei to withstand it. However, Long Fei would not admit defeat just like that. He shouted out with a deep tone, Come again! Yo, you're quite arrogant. The powerhouse of the infernal realm sneered, and his figure disappeared again. This time, his speed was even faster, something that the Purple Realm could not reach. Boom! Long Fei was struck down onto the ground heavily, puffed, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly and said, Come again! Zhan Wushuang laughed loudly and said, Lear, did you see that? So what if trash like him could recover his cultivation? Trash. You can't even beat a mere bodyguard like Hellgate. Do you really need to protect someone like him? Kid, if I were you, I would have just died, lest I embarrass myself in this world again. Boom. Long Fei was once again smashed to the ground. His speed became faster and faster, and he was knocked down time and time again. At the same time, the moment Long Fei activated the idea, the card started to spin quickly. Card selection. He was also choosing the powerful powerhouse that was being summoned. Chapter 12:12 Heavy Critical Strikes. Chapter 12:12 Heavy Critical Strikes. Selecting a card was the same as choosing a card. People continued to appear on the card. Diamond Wolf. If you don't kill, Powerful Diamond. Also, a series of awesome figures. However, these were all people that Long Fei did not want, so he was still waiting. He had never fought back, and with his current level, he simply could not fight back. The gap was too big, and the Hellgate's cultivation was too strong. Other than that, Long Fei still wanted to take care of Zhan Wushuang together. This was what Long Fei wanted. Look, there isn't even room for a backhand. He really is trash. Zhan Wushuang mocked. The difference in their cultivation levels made no reaction at all. Xianyuan Li Er frowned. At the same time, her power was surging, and no matter what, she had to protect Long Fei. Zhan Wushuang's power was also moving. No matter what, I won't let him live. As long as he lives, I won't be able to obtain your heart. Xianyuan Li Er, you are my Zhan Wushuang's woman. Yes, 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 yes. I will not let him live in this world. Zhan Wushuang's heart was filled with intense killing intent. I can't hold on any longer. I can't hold on any longer. Boss, Niu Dashan shouted. He wanted to rush up to Hellgate multiple times, but he couldn't even see the shadow of Powerhouse. Even if he rushed up, it would be useless. Yang Wana's heart tightened. Long Fei. The faces of the elders from the Yuanyang clan were all deathly pale, as they thought to themselves, we're finished, the Yuanyang clan is finished. I was killed by Long Fei. It's all because of him. Suddenly, Zhan Wushuang's idea moved and said lightly, kill him. The Hellgate's target tightened, and his strength immediately soared to the highest point. The corner of his mouth drew back, and he coldly shouted, "Die!" Whoosh! His figure flashed out like lightning. Xianyuan, Li Er instantly felt the killing intent on his body surge. She cried out in alarm, "Brother Fei, be careful!" The moment she left, Zhan Wushuang moved his body and blocked in front of Xianyuan Li Er, saying, "Lear, the battle is not over yet." Buzz! A powerful binding force wrapped around Xianyuan Li Er. Zhan Wushuang said, "Long Fei is just a piece of trash. He isn't worthy of you at all. I am your best choice. Watch him die. Only then will you give up." Then, Zhan Wushuang looked at the motionless Long Fei coldly and laughed coldly. "Die!" Boom, boom, boom. A series of explosions occurred in the air. The Hell Gate attacked with all his might and directly locked onto Long Fei's head. The card was still spinning. Suddenly, the card was fixed on a cartoon character, and in that instant, Long Fei's brows twitched and roared out, "Come out, Pikachu!" A ball fell down. Long Fei suddenly flung himself out, and a yellow Pikachu flew out. In that instant, the Pikachu's power moved. 1,000,000 volts. Web. Sizzle. A huge electric net protected Long Fei in the middle. At this moment, the Hell Gate rushed forward, but he simply did not have enough time to stop the car. Crackling. There was a flash of lightning, and then it was charred black. Its mouth was wide open, and smoke was still coming out of its mouth. Its two eyes were incredibly wide open. Dead. Ding. The system sounded out. Long Fei raised his gaze slightly, stared at the distant Zhan Wushuang, and bellowed, "Are you victorious now?" These words were like a slap to Zhan Wushuang's face. Pain. Zhan Wushuang's face turned ugly, his fists clenched tight, his anger soaring to the skies as his eyes stared straight at Long Fei. Just now, he did not even know how that Hell Gate died. They only knew that Long Fei had thrown out a ball. That ball. At this moment, a cute little fellow stood at Long Fei's feet, and he was mumbling something. He had never seen this before. Was this his new power? Zhan Wushuang's eyes turned sinister. Long Fei laughed coldly. "Zhan Wushuang, did this daddy win now?" Niu Dashin roared out, "Boss is mighty." Zhan Wushuang's face became even uglier. "Victory? Trash, you're thinking too much. Hell Gate has never lost before." Long Fei knew it would be like this. "Trash, trash, then let me see who is the F** King Trash." Suddenly, Long Fei moved, Wind God leg. With a step, he rushed out and kicked towards Zhan Wushuang. Beside him, the Pikachu was following him closely like a shadow. Xianyuan Li Er suddenly shouted out loud, "Brother Fei, don't!" Zhan Wushuang suddenly felt that it was funny. "Fight with me. You overestimate yourself." With that, he channeled the power of heaven and smashed down before Long Fei could even get close. Rumble! A huge explosion shook the sky. Long Fei's body heavily smashed onto the ground. On the ground floor, a huge crater of 100 meters wide and several meters deep was created from the explosion. The buildings had all collapsed. Long Fei laid in the deep pit, unable to move. The Pikachu beside him was also as weak as a deflated ball. A crushing blow. Critical hit. Heavy hit. This was the strength of the 9th rank of the Emperor list. This move was simply invincible. Long Fei wanted to stand up inside the deep pit, but he realized that he couldn't even get up. It was too uncomfortable. It wasn't because of the pain in his body, but because of the mental crushing pressure. It was as Zhan Wushuang had said. They were people from completely different worlds. He thought that no matter how strong Zhan Wushuang was, he would have a chance to shake her. But now, this kind of strength did not even have the chance to touch the corner of his clothes. This was the difference. It was too big, too big. so big that even Long Fei himself couldn't imagine it. Pikachu! Swoosh! The Pikachu disappeared. Its strength was crushed as well. Zhan Wushuang moved through the air and landed in midair. He sneered as he looked at Long Fei, who was stuck in the pit, and said with disdain, "Calling you a trash is even giving you face. In front of me, you're not even worth a trash, do you understand? An ant." Ha ha ha. Zhan Wushuang started to laugh maniacally. Long Fei's hatred soared to the sky. His heart was filled with incomparable fury, as though he was unwilling to give up, and extremely unwilling. Zhan Wushuang retracted his laughter and said, "Trash, it's time to send you to hell." Zhan Wushuang's strength moved. A silhouette dashed out, carrying the shadow of the demon Ox King of Ox with it. "Try attacking my boss." Boom! A surge of power directly sent the demon ox flying backward. It spat out a mouthful of blood and collapsed on the ground. It was unknown whether it was dead or alive. At this time, a ray of fiery light descended, and the fire unicorn stood in front of Long Fei. "Ancient divine beast, then you have to get the hell out of my way." Zhan Wushuang once again smashed downwards with his power. Boom! The fire unicorn was also sent flying, but he was still unable to withstand Zhan Wushuang's strength. Zhan Wushuang sneered, and revealed a gaze that looked down upon the world, and said, "Who else wants to die for him?" Chapter 12:13, Collapse. Chapter 12:13, Collapse, arrogant beyond compare. Similarly, it was incomparably powerful. Nyo Dashan of the ancient divine level King Bull's blood could not withstand it. The ancient divine beast S could not resist it either. In the entire Yuanyang clan, no one could stop Zhan Wushuang. His power could instantly turn the Yuanyang clan into ruins. This was the power of the Emperor List S, an ability that could almost reach the sky. Zhan Wushuang laughed coldly, stared at the Long Fei in the deep pit, and said, "Long Fei, isn't it better to just be safe and live as your slave? You have to run and awaken your power. Aren't you courting death? Originally, you could have lived for a few more years, but now, like a poor worm." Zhan Wushuang said with disdain. At the same time, a powerful energy surged out from under his palm. "Living no longer has any meaning to you. Now, go to hell, poor devil." Another wave of attacks rang out. Before receiving the power, Long Fei's eyes opened wide in anger, his mind thinking nonstop, "What do we do? Baron Nash? Not an opponent. Monkey." Suddenly, Long Fei recalled the pair of fiery eyes of truth from the golden cudgel, and said, "Monkey, give me your power. Give me your power, great sage Qitian. I want to kill him." The eyes of the golden cudgel slightly opened. It was just that. It closed again after a brief half-second. Ding! System notification. The second stage of strength cannot be activated. Ding! System notification. The second power cannot be activated. It was impossible to open it. How do I open the second layer of strength? Long Fei roared in his heart, roared, and started to panic when he saw the force of Zhan Wushuang getting closer and closer. The feeling of being crushed was too unbearable. The feeling of being pressed down on a chopping board and read with a single slash was simply too unbearable. How exactly do I open the second layer of strength? Ah! Long Fei's eyes darkened as he muttered, "Too late." Rumble! Flames shot up into the sky. Long Fei looked at the white figure in the air that blocked Zhan Wushuang's attack. And at this moment, a few images appeared in his mind. "Brother Fei, will you marry me in the future?" "Yes." "Brother Fei, Zhan Wushuang always bullies me." "I'll help you." "Brother Fei." These scenes were very brief. They were those of two children, when they were young. Xianyuan Li Er. Zhan Wushuang suddenly roared out. No! He withdrew his strength. He charged forward. Xianyuan Li Er's body lost its gravity, and his entire body fell down, slowly floating down from the sky. Looking at his eyes, face to face. It was like a slow-motion picture in a movie. Long Fei looked at Xianyuan Li Er, and for some unknown reason, his heart began to hurt. Xianyuan Li Er, on the other hand, had a playful and cute smile on his face, just like the smile on the screen, captivating him. Long Fei could not help but shout out, "Lear!" Xianyuan Li Er's smile became even more brilliant, and he said, "Brother Fei, do you remember Lear?" It was also at this time. Her body dropped onto Long Fei's body with a put sound. Their eyes met, and the distance between their eyes were only less than 10 centimeters, quietly watching like this. Xianyuan Li Er's delicate face seemed to be firmly engraved in Long Fei's mind. Long Fei hugged both of his arms. She quietly hugged her. Xianyuan Li Er's face was filled with peach blossoms, revealing a happy smile. No, became even more furious. Idea like a blade separated Xianyuan Li Er and Long Fei and instantly landed beside Xianyuan Li Er. She looked at her pale white face and said, "Lear, Lear, Lear." Dog, it's all your fault. Zhan Wushuang seemed to have gone crazy, his palm striking the top of Long Fei's head. Xianyuan Li Er grabbed onto Zhan Wushuang's hand and said, "Zhan Wushuang, didn't you want me to agree to your marriage? All right, I promise you now. Please let him go. I promise you everything." Zhan Wushuang's eyes were shocked. There was not a single bit of joy in his heart, but more of pain, since Xianyuan Li Er was still protecting Long Fei at this time. What did they take him for? Cluck, cluck. Zhan Wushuang's teeth chattered loudly as he suddenly carried Xianyuan Li Er and stood in front of Long Fei. He put on a proud expression and asked, "Long Fei, did you hear that? She's my woman now." "Ha ha ha. Xianyuan Li Er is my Zhan Wushuang's woman. If you dare appear in front of Li Er again, I will make you wish you were dead." Zhan Wushuang said every word with killing intent. A strong killing intent. He really wanted to kill Long Fei, but Xianyuan Li Er was heavily injured. He had to rush back with all his might, otherwise her life would be in danger. Moreover, Xianyuan Li Er had already agreed to his proposal. However, she agreed for someone's sake. Zhan Wushuang rose into the air and looked at Long Fei, who was trapped in a hole, with contempt. "You are just a pitiful bug that needs the protection of a woman. Long Fei, you better remember this. Never appear in front of Li Lear again." Then Zhan Wushuang shouted, "Let's go!" Whoosh! In the blink of an eye, he was already thousands of miles away. The 7 people of Hell Gate also instantly disappeared, as if they had never appeared. Yang Wanu ran to the side of the deep pit, looked at Long Fei, whose eyes were completely bloodshot, and immediately rushed down, saying, "Long Fei, hold on, you must hold on." Long Fei roared. Why? In God's martial continent, he was stomped by Hong Tianjun. In Chaos Realm, he was stomped by Zhan Wushuang. This time, his heart was in an even worse state. The hatred in his heart was even more intense. He was on the verge of collapse and going berserk. It was too hard. Chapter 124, Myriad Alliance Sect. Chapter 124, Myriad Alliance Sect. The blow this time was even more devastating than the one before, because it was filled with helplessness. No matter how much Long Fei fought, it was useless. The powerhouse on top of the Emperor list was too strong. It was something he couldn't even touch. compared to Hong Tianjun. Zhan Wushuang was too strong. The ninth-place emperor list, possessing the power of the entire Hell Gate, the Nine Secret Warrior family was one of the oldest clans in the Chaos Realm. If any of these powers combined together, they would be able to push Long Fei down, and he would not be able to get up. In this Chaos Realm, he had nothing. How could he be an opponent? How could he fight against them? The difference was too big, causing Long Fei's heart to explode from the pressure. Yang Wanu supported Long Fei as he climbed out of the pit step by step. Long Fei's body was powerless as if he was a cripple. Yang Wanu looked at the surrounding elders of the Yuanyang clan and said, Long Fei is severely injured, so after he recovers, we will leave. I also guarantee that we will never take even half a step into the Yuanyang clan. Can we? No way, Wu Yingliang shouted. Yang Wanu, you disregarded our objections and started a war against the Hell Gate, so from that moment onwards, you have not been an elder of the Yuanyang clan. As for Long Fei, he's just a slave. He doesn't have the qualifications to join the Yuanyang clan. If it wasn't for you, I would have killed him right now. Do you still want to rest in the Yuanyang clan? Humph! Yang Wanu, that's impossible. Wu Yingliang said heavily. At this time, he would definitely not give Yang Wanu any chance. His words immediately resonated. All of the elders spoke out. Yang Wanu, you are no longer Yuanyang clan's elder. Yuanyang clan cannot keep you any longer, so take this slave away. Yang Wanu, get out. Get out of Yuanyang clan. Yang Wanu was injured, and both his knees were smashed. He could stand up completely relying on the support of the Holy Source, and he could not walk very far at all. If a person lost his strength, he would be instantly trampled by someone. This was reality. Not only the elders, even the disciples of the Yuanyang clan were the same. Yang Wanu pleaded, Elders, even if I, Yang Wanu, am begging you as long as Long Fei's injuries are stabilized, we will leave. If this goes on, he will die. The power of that attack was too strong. Long Fei suffered from severe internal injuries. If he was not treated soon, he would die. Ha ha ha. Wu Yingliang laughed coldly. How funny. What does it have to do with us if he, a slave, dies or not? There's more. Yang Wanu, who do you think you are? Beg us? Are you qualified to ask us for help now? Wu Yingliang glanced at Yang Wanu's injured knee and laughed coldly. You better get the hell out of Yuanyang clan now, otherwise don't blame us for being ruthless. Wu Yingliang revealed a cold and contemptuous smile. The moment he finished speaking, the surrounding elders stepped forward and stared at Yang Wanu with murderous glints in their eyes. Yang Wanu's brows tightened and said, All right, then let me call my daughter. He did not return to his residence. Since he was going to leave the Yuanyang clan, he must bring his daughter along. Wu Yingliang laughed and said, Yang Wanu, you can leave, your daughter can't. Yang Yu was his life, and upon hearing that they wanted to capture his daughter, Yang Wanu's eyes widened, and his gaze carried killing intent. Elder Wu, what do you mean by that? A vigorous aura burst out. Wu Yingliang's face sank, and coldly laughed. Your daughter has offended Lai Yen and offended the 10,000 Alliance sect, so she will naturally stay and apologize. If we let her go, how are we going to account to the One True Union? Wu Yingliang's reminder made all the elders' faces change. The power of the 1,000 Alliance sect was also enormous. If Lai Yen escaped, he would definitely take revenge. And he liked Yang Yu, so only Yang Yu could calm his anger. We can't let Yang Yu go. Right, we can't let him go. Yang Wanu, your daughter must stay here. Yang Wanu's gaze tightened and said, What if I don't agree? Humph. Wu Yingliang laughed. Yang Wanu, you better agree. Otherwise, none of you will be able to leave Yuanyang clan. As soon as he finished, the surrounding elders immediately surrounded Yang Wanu, and the disciples on the plaza also quickly gathered around. Yang Wana was injured. Long Fei was injured. Niu Dashan's life or death was unclear, and the fire unicorn was also injured. In this kind of situation, it was simply not a match for the large number of people in Yuanyang clan. Wu Yingliang laughed complacently. Yang Wanu, have you decided yet? The surrounding elders all had gleeful looks on their faces. Yang Wanu was completely crushed. Yang Wanu was furious in his heart, but he could not fight head-on with him at this time, and said, I will stay here and account for the 1,000 Alliance and release my daughter. Ha ha! Wu Yingliang laughed out loud and said, Yang Wanu, who do you think you are? Do you think your life is valuable? You're just a piece of trash now. If I were you, I would leave immediately. If you dare to delay any longer, none of you will leave. In his heart, he really wanted to kill Long Fei, but the relationship between Xianyuan Li'er and him made him have no choice but to be careful. As long as Long Fei left Yuanyang clan, he would die. Even if he died, it had nothing to do with him. As long as they were allowed to leave the Yuanyang clan, he was forcing Yang Wanu to make a choice. And at this time, Yang Wanu had to make a choice. Other than that, Long Fei had to live. To offend Lai Yen, his daughter's life only consisted of Long Fei's destiny pill, and Long Fei had to live. Only Yang Yu. For the time being, she was safe. As long as Long Fei recovered, he would not need to worry. He could kill his way to the Yuanyang clan to save his daughter, and everything would be fine. As Yang Wanu was helping Long Fei up to prepare to leave, at this moment, a disciple hurriedly ran over and said, Elder, something bad happened. Wu Yingliang, who was already the leader of the elders, slightly shouted, What is it that makes you so flustered? The people of Hell Gate had already left. What else was there to panic about? That disciple said, The Holy Moon sect, and the people from the 1,000 Alliance sect have arrived. What? Everyone was shocked. The complexions of all the elders suddenly changed. It's too fast. As soon as the people from Hell Gate left, they came. This is bad. Yang Wana supported Long Fei and quickly left the room. They could not stay any longer as Long Fei was seriously injured and he had lost all will to fight. However, Wu Yingliang's reaction was extremely fast. He shouted, Yang Wanu, you can't leave anymore. And him. The trouble is caused by this slave. He must bear all of this. Someone come. Surround them. With Wu Yingliang's order, they quickly surrounded Yang Wanu. At this time, at the entrance of Yuanyang clan, Lai Yen laughed coldly. Yuanyang clan, I'm back. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.